Hello out there. I'm a little off center on my camera, my bad. Welcome to Beyond Avernus. I am DM Steve. Here with me is the Alleged Five, allegedly. Say hello, Alleged Five.
Hello,
Alleged Five.
Right, yeah. We're back. Our campaign is called Beyond Avernus because we are planning to go beyond Avernus. And
Not just plan, we're actually beyond Avernus.
well,
now.
we in the last 5 minutes we made it beyond Avernus, guys.
Is Beyond Avernus the third part of Bed Bath and Beyond?
Ooh,
This was in the back room. Is it just Stygia?
you go through the door and tumble into
BBBA.
So let's real quick. Let's go around. Let's say hi. You can give your name. Quick update on the character you're playing. Anyone tuning in for the first time might know. Let's start. Let's do backwards this time. So let's start with Tyler.
Okay, I am player Tyler. I am playing Zeke, and he is a Simic hybrid crab druid. Unfortunately, Hero Forge and Google do not have good results for crab people, unfortunately. So he will appear as human, but this is just a construct of the mind to make him easier to comprehend.
Mm-hmm.
I think you do find images for it. They're just not safe for work.
Mm-hmm.
I think the interesting thing to note is you did not start off such a way, but you ended up here over the course of our campaign.
Snip, snip.
And who knows where you'll end by the end of this whole thing. Maybe you'll just be like a boring halfling or something.
Level 20, I just troop polymorph into a crab and live my life.
All right. Up next, let's do Mike.
All right, so yeah, this is Mike. My character is Morthos. He's a 25-year-old male tiefling warlock. And his patron is Maliki, which is a goddess of the forest.
Anything unique about Morthos you want to throw in there? I mean, you're following up a crab dude.
Well, Morthos, all I can say is I hope that Morthos doesn't get hungry.
Because we bought butter.
We did. And I love snow crabs, so it is going to be...
Which one of us has water breathing?
There we go.
I just want to double check that real quick.
I do because you gave me the manta ray cloak.
I can take that hood off, and you have to take stash to put it back on.
I can turn into a shark and eat you underwater, so that's my plan.
This has been talking. There's a chat without me somewhere.
I wasn't supposed to let that out of the bag. Sorry.
All right. Up next, Jordan.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm playing Marius, an ASMR protector, paladin fighter, vengeance paladin. And I'm currently wielding a shard of my god, Corellin's blade, trying to power it up as we go into the deeper layers of hell. And spoilers, I have been affected by Zariel's blade, so I have stepped over the line into a mortal solar angel person. And yeah, I am currently husband one, and
Currently.
Yep. Looking forward to helping our friend Hal get his job done.
Which is a great segue into our next player, Rick.
All right. My name's Rick. I'm playing Hallandar, the Shadow Elf, Horizon Walker Ranger / champion fighter, who is tattooed with the Shadow Prophecy on his upper body, which has led me and the group to descend deeper into the 9 Hells.
Very well said. Right to the point. That is kind of the core driving force of our Beyond Avernus campaign. And, last and certainly not least, Brianna.
Hi, I'm Brianna. I play Ava. She is a Scourge ASMR, undead, or I forgot what's that called?
I don't know what I am.
She's a scourge. We can just leave it there.
She's yes, that's correct. She's a revived rogue and a grave cleric of Torm. she made a deal many years ago with Bell the Pit Fiend back when he was a Lord of Avernus, and now she is on life 9 of 10, and is sort of dreading the fact that if she dies, that's like kind of her last shot at actual mortality. So yeah.
All right. And so all of our players are level 15. We played through the published adventure, which is the Descent into Avernus, which was a level 1 through 13 adventure that Wizards puts out. And then we thought, you know what? We're having fun with these characters. We're having fun in this idea of hell and the 9 layers of hell. Let's see what lives beyond Avernus. And that is where our characters have come. You know, kind of as you guys said, like, Hallandar has a mission to get to the 8th layer of hell, and you guys managed to find like a warp pipe that takes you from layer 1 to 5. Congratulations. It's
Thank
like,
you
you
very
know,
much.
in Mario Brothers, you go to the pipe, you jump over. In Mario Brothers, it's always the same, right? You go to the end of the level, you jump over the top, run off the right side of the screen, and find the 3 warp pipes. So you found the one that takes you to Stygia, which, you know, was the River Styx. And here we are in Stygia itself. Yeah, how's your guys' weeks been? I heard you gave up on Cyberpunk for the time being, Jordan.
Yeah, you know, I keep seeing videos of people driving on the street and then appearing thousands of feet in the air and falling to their death, or picking one dialogue option and then the game thinks you chose the other dialogue option. So,
Wow.
like, you beat a guy in a race and he's like, here, you know, I put my car up, you have my car, and you go, no, man, it's cool, you keep your car, you need it, I know how in a rough spot you are. And then he sends you a text message an hour later saying, hey man, how do you like my car? I hope you're treating her right. So stuff like that, even affecting the ending of the game, has just kind of got me to take a step back and just say, you know what, this is basically a Fallout game, I'll go back and finish Fallout 4.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, I heard they're taking refunds, huh? Was that bad?
From
Only
everywhere.
console.
Sony
Yeah,
took it
Microsoft-
off their digital store, which is
That's-
hilarious to me.
That's bad, though. I mean,
Unprecedented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think some of the reason
Even-
they're doing that is because the CDPR had put out a statement basically saying, hey, bug Sony and Microsoft, don't bug us for refunds. So
Yo.
I think Sony and Microsoft are kind of just like, you know what? We have the money to do this. Don't do that. Don't say that.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people are losing their job over this one. What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Their stock prices
Yeah, I
are
don't know.
dropping, and it's so funny to watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's talk of like a class action lawsuit by the shareholders
Ooh.
against
Ooh,
the
that's
developer.
spicy.
I
So
did see
it's-
that today.
It's getting rough.
Wow.
Because they essentially like defrauded everyone and made it seem like their game was way more than it was, right? It's like
Yep.
the sad
And in a
part
better
is
state than it
the
was.
game. It's still not that bad if they had just been upfront about what they were
Right.
claiming it to be. You know, it's the fact that they promised all this stuff and then didn't deliver that really puts them in hot water, I think.
Yep.
Yep. Cyberpunk 2077 is most accurately summarized by they said there were no more delays and they delayed it again.
I mean,
Yep.
it doesn't run on last gen consoles, but this game was supposed to come out a year ago before the next gen consoles existed. So, like, how is that an excuse not to run on last gen? It was designed for that gen. You know what I mean?
It was designed to be like a cool breakout game on last gen.
Yeah.
That's how long it's been in development.
And, you know, I'm playing on PC, so I don't see any of the console issues, but there are plenty of other issues like Jordan alluded to.
Yeah, it's not any better on PC. I
Yep.
mean, it's probably a little better, but like
It looks better.
debatable. It must look awful on console, actually. Then,
Yep. It depends on what your hardware.
oh no.
I didn't have any accidental gay sex this week.
Oh, it was on purpose. Good for you, Steve.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
it's
only on purpose.
No, but
I'm
there
glad
was
you took charge.
I forgot.
there was a part, right, where I went to a place and it says, oh, we scanned to find your perfect match. And it says, do you want to match with... It basically offers you a man and a woman, right? It shows you both of them, right? It shows you both of them. And it says, oh, you could match with either one. Which one do you want to pick? And then the dialogue pops up. With no other information, it says, pick Sky or pick Angel.
Oh no.
That's all it gives you.
I know which one you clicked.
Yep.
Yeah, he clicked
Yep.
Angel.
I like how he explains it
No,
again. Like
no,
it's gonna be any
I clicked
different for us,
Sky.
like-
I think. Was it? No, maybe I did
Right.
click Angel. God, I
No,
don't
because
remember.
Angel. If you're asking me, Sky would be the guy and Angel would be the girl. So if they did it backwards, that's
Was
bad.
I don't
was it
remember now.
Sky or Enhale?
All I know is we had a family chat last night, and I called Steven out in front of the whole family. I said, I forget how it came up, and Steven said
Nice.
something. They're like, "What?" And I go, "Okay, well, Steven's got an announcement. He's coming out of the closet."
Sky.
Okay, Sky
That's
was the
great.
girl and Angel was the boy.
That's
I know that. Because
Yeah.
I
Well,
know
see,
they
then
made a
that's
mistake. I
that's
thought it
yeah.
was really fun.
They purposely did that to
I
trick
don't-
you.
I don't think it's Angel. I think it was Enhale.
Angel, but like
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
say it out loud, right?
Nah, it's just on that little computer.
I don't even remember. Maybe they told me in the
Yeah.
previous video pop up which was which, but I missed it. So the interesting thing is like it goes through this whole thing. It's a very intimate moment, but like it stops short of like sex.
Right.
So-
yeah. So why do you pick your genitals of the game if it makes no difference later?
Well, that is very
Why they
true.
make such a big deal about that?
I've somebody pointed that out.
No.
You spend all that time crafting your genitals, and then like you never see them again. Like even when you take a shower, you wear underwear.
Unless there's a bug. Unless there's a bug.
Unless there's a bug,
You
and then your
shower
penis
in
hangs out of your
underwear?
pants. Yeah, when you take a shower, you look
What?
down, you're wearing underwear.
Oh,
That's the biggest like video
Video
game thing.
Also,
It's been so long since the CDPR devs has taken a shower. You think that they shower in your underwear?
They've been
That's
at the
true.
office for 3
or
months.
that's just what they do. Maybe that's just how they
There's
shower.
no-
it's a Polish thing. Also, no, there are no functional reflective surfaces in the game for you, so like you can't even see a reflection of yourself naked.
Yeah, you have to press a button to look into a mirror, and by that, you have to press a button for it to load the mirror.
Yes, and,
And
somebody
sometimes-
did you
sometimes
guys
it
see
doesn't
the
load
video
your
this week?
hair or your hat? No.
Somebody posted a video where the camera got stuck and they were actually able to see themselves in third person, and it was horrifying.
They're headless.
I believe it. Yeah, most companies totally BS all of the animation just to show
Yeah.
it shows up on camera. So people's arms are weird and stuff.
But that's why they can't do reflections, because you would look ridiculous. So
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, I had like a slightly game breaking bug where I was supposed to shoot down some drones, and I shot one and it fell through the floor, and then just kept falling down. And it kept showing me how far it was from me, but it was going down slowly, like 500 meters at a time. And the NPC in the car is just yelling at me, like berating me for not killing them faster, while they're driving in a circle for like 5 minutes straight. And I was about to give up, and finally it kicked in and despawned, and I was able to move on to the next section. That was fun. So unlike Jordan, I am going to try to push through to I want to experience what they launched with once, and maybe when they fix it, quote unquote fix it, I'll go back and do that more later. But I'm trying to
I've done
focus
that
on the
too many
main
times with too many
story.
video games.
Do you guys know if Steam is offering refunds for the game?
I don't know.
Because between CDPR
Steam-
getting the money for me buying the game, and then the game's not treating certain topics super well, I kind of feel uncomfortable playing it anymore. I'd rather think about that.
Here's the thing. Steam instituted a really good one, but it has to do with the number of hours you play.
Right.
So if you're below a certain threshold, they just no questions asked give you.
Right, but that's like 2 hours, and this is a huge game, and I was kind of hoping that they would, the game would like in universe acknowledge that these things are bad, but they kind of just like double down on it, and I don't like it.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's bad. But good luck.
I was told that if you played V as a female and wanted a heterosexual romance, the only option you have is a cop, which is objectively the most punk person that you can romance.
Especially in a cyberpunk game.
Yep.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, and you're working for the cops at all times, actually, because everyone has like a bounty on them, and you cash it in automatically.
Yeah,
It's
but
awesome.
the underworld totally has so much cred for you for killing people for the cops. They just they just love
But
you. So much
you
street
get street cred for defending the cops from gangs.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said last week. I saw the
how that
cops in a
works.
firefight. I stepped in to help the cops, and the cop shot me and killed me.
Well, I don't think that's intended, because the kind of logic around like, oh, I'm intervening in this assault situation, it's it was really finicky about even if you didn't hit like a civilian or a cop or something, they would actually attack you back.
Yeah. That's weird. So anyways.
I'm glad we start our session 30 minutes earlier so we can have our cyberpunk chat at the beginning.
Yeah. I like to have a little chat each week, check in with you and see what's hot for the week.
Didn't we promise everyone else that we wouldn't talk about Cyberpunk this week?
Oh, did we? God,
Well,
that's
I think
true.
you did specifically.
I'm a liar.
Since it's video game corner, I'm having a really good time in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's now Yule time, so there's a lot of Christmas celebration, but it's the actual pagan version of it. So where I'm building up the farms and the brewery, and we're gonna have a huge feast. So I'm having a good time in Assassin's Creed.
Nice.
That's cool.
I haven't, besides like D&D, Pathfinder, Roll20 type stuff, the only game I play consistently for like 7 years now is Hearthstone. And I've migrated to only playing Battlegrounds. I don't even play like the core game anymore.
Ironic. Hearthstone and consistency.
Well, sure. But it's fun.
I'm razzing.
Yeah, I like Hearthstone, right? So I was really looking forward for Cyberpunk. So me committing to playing a game like this is like out of the norm. And like I bought this computer a year ago, so I'd be ready to play it when the game came out. I have my lights are glowing in like that 80s purple specifically for Cyberpunk. I had my wallpaper for Cyberpunk 2077. So for me, this game was like something I've been looking forward to for like a really long time. So the fact that it's such a letdown is like really why I keep bringing it up, I think.
This was like the last
What
bit
I'm
of
hearing-
2020.
What I'm hearing, Steve, is you need to contact the shareholders at CD Projekt, and you need to let them know that you need to be part of that class action lawsuit because they lied to you too.
I just want the game to be fun.
I mean, it'll probably be fun
Me
like
too,
a year
bud.
from now.
Yeah.
Yep, which is why I'm not playing it until later.
And so
I think,
No,
Steve,
go
your experience with like, you think the main quest has been, at least last week, you said the main quest was really fun and worked really well for you, and the side quests were less so. I've been having the exact opposite experience. So later, after the session, I definitely want to talk to you more about that because that's really fun.
Okay. For sure. Yeah, and the one thing that is kind of cool, which if you follow me on Twitter, which I know all of you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I did like the
Those
retweet.
of you.
You know I saw that.
Yeah, there is the source book for Cyberpunk 2020 is included in the pre-order bonuses on Steam. So if you go there, there's a PDF that has the role-playing rules for Cyberpunk that the game is already based on, like the world, the lore, all that stuff. It's embedded in there, and I didn't even know it was there. I just stumbled across it. It was kind of cool to see. It's what the 90s thought the 2020s would be. They were so
That's
wrong.
always-
They were
that's
so
always right.
wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they got the corporation owning everything part right, but everything else they
Mhm.
fell short on.
Yep.
Actually, it's not subtle enough. They still got it
We
wrong.
we got the Jeremy part right, but that's about it.
The
Mechanical crab companions.
Oh, yes, that's right. So, anyways, go and check it out. If you're watching this, it's because you like RPGs, so just dig around. There's like a chart for like, choose your style, and I rolled like in our Discord chat just to see what I got. And I was hoping to be like nude, but I was not nude. Because one of the 10 styles is just nude. I was like,
What?
I don't know.
I'll hang out.
Right? It was
What did I get?
let's see.
Where's the chart?
It's in
Yeah,
the
you gotta-
it's in general. IRL.
General.
So what'd you get, Jordan? 653. You are a high
653.
fashion, bald
Nice.
with ritual
Yep.
scars.
Wow. So true to life.
How do I roll?
3D8.
No, how do I roll?
You can roll it in roll 20.
Oh yeah, that's better. So
Actually, you rolled 3d8. It's 3d10. I'm sorry, you missed out on two possible options.
Oh,
536. Isn't that exactly what you got?
What the hell? Well, he got 653.
Oh, okay.
So that
So
means
it is actually
All right,
different.
it's the
I got 533. So high fashion, bald, and then something else.
okay, so Zeke 536. Zeke is wearing a mini skirt. Or sorry, I guess Tyler. It might not be.
Wow.
But it's mini skirts is your style. Your hairstyle is short and spiked. And your also earrings is your special your affects
So
affectations.
Hell yeah.
I got a mini skirt, short and spiked, and what?
Oh, damn.
For 3 is Ritual Scars.
Ritual scars. Okay.
Again.
I am nude with a mohawk and mirror shade.
No,
Nude-
that's cyberpunk.
Nude
so
mohawk.
great.
Wait, can you be nude if you have shades?
I mean,
You're
Essential-
more nude if you have shades on.
Essential
clothing.
question.
It doesn't say anything about accessories.
Yeah. So it was just fun. It was just that was like what role playing games had in the 90s apparently. So if you look at that chart, that's what they expected people to be wearing in the 90s. I also like how
Nothing.
8 is just if you roll an 8 for your fashion, it's like normal clothes. But what the hell does that mean
Yep.
in terms of like a 2020 cyberpunk world?
Probably 90s clothes.
Maybe.
No, but
So-
biker leathers is already on there.
But like, yeah, so Johnny Silverhand, who's Keanu Reeves' character, features very prominently in the source book for 2020. But that makes sense because in Cyberpunk 2077, it said he was big 50 years before, right? So I guess that math lines up. I don't know enough about the RPG if they have a Cyberpunk 2077 source book.
They have Cyberpunk Red, which is, I think, releasing soon or recently released.
It
My friend
recently
was trying to
released,
roll.
yeah. I've heard people like playing it and checking it out, and somebody in our Discord was talking about maybe running it.
Yeah, I ran a quick test with him. It was pretty fun. It was more similar. 2077 was more similar to Cyberpunk Red than I expected.
Okay.
I love that cool is a stat.
Cool. Yeah, just the stat is cool. How cool are you?
Like,
I
it's
guess
one thing
not.
to be low charisma. It's a thing to be lame.
So, Cyberpunk in the rearview mirror. Shift this into gear. Hit the gas. Are you guys ready to go to well, I was going to say to Avernus, but are you guys ready to go
Stygia.
back to the Forgotten Realms?
Oh.
Back to our campaign. Away from the horrible, buggy future and into the terrible reality of your characters who have decided to make the forces of hell your number one enemies.
I don't know. 2 of the party are trying to eat me, apparently. So.
No. Said if we get hungry. We're not hungry right
Yeah.
now. You're lucky.
Yeah, your nickname is backup food.
Yep. You better
How-
just keep it. You keep us fed. You're okay. That's all I gotta say.
Hal is like, hey guys, I have Goodberry, and you guys are like, no, we got this, and you're like cutting Zeke's claw arm off
Like
and
a
then
comically
regenerating
oversized
it.
steak knife.
He just said he can cast regeneration last
Right.
session. So we
That's
got
better
this.
than Goodberry.
That's not better than good carry.
It is.
No, it takes me like
It's-
a day to. Oh, it only takes me 2 minutes? Really? Wow.
It's more
I
delicious.
mean, 2 days to get my arms back?
Listen to this guy.
So like, you know,
Yeah, you're like
Jesus
Deadpool.
Jesus fed people with fish, and you feed people with your own flesh, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
isn't there. I'm super uneducated about religion, so my bad if I'm like butchering this, but
Go ahead.
isn't like bread and wine supposed to be like symbolic of Jesus or something?
Ah, that's true.
Yeah, exactly. Asmodeus gave his only begotten son for us to eat crab every day.
Wait, so you're saying you're worshiping Asmodeus now, Jordan? Not Marius, but Jordan.
No, Zeke is.
No. Does Jesus worship God? Okay, let's go to Stygia.
Okay. So stick with us. We have on this campaign, we do have a pre-stream video that gets you viewers hyped. So let's cut over to that, and when we come back, we will be going beyond Avernus. Stay right there.
Deep in the lower planes, detached from all the comforts of the material world, lies a realm called Bator, otherwise known as the Nine Hells. 9 distinct layers make up this plane of existence, each ruled by a single lord which binds the lair under its willpower. The first lair, Avernus, welcomes all visitors to its war-torn lands. Here, the blood war rages on between devils and demons in an eternal dance for dominance. Deep below Avernus are the other lairs. Diz, Minaros, Fleligos, Stygia, Malbolge, Maladomni, Cania, Nessus, each protected from teleportation magic by the lord of that lair. This is where the story takes us, as our alleged five set their eyes down towards the eighth lair of hell, Cania, and its lord, Mephistopheles, as they seek to free Ervis Kale from his bonds. Join us as we venture deep down beyond Avernus.
Unreasonable, like, oh, this is just like a stage name.
Mm-hmm. We back in it?
We're back, guys. Welcome to Stygia. The cold, frozen wastelands abound. So, when we last left off, you guys had paid the ferryman in Avernus, who ferries you down the river Styx through the intense waterfall that flows upwards, where you guys emerged within a giant lair with nothing but water, and the only sound that you could hear was like giant ice chunks shifting within the water, scraping against each other, the sloshing of water, the cool breeze cutting you so deep that you feel as if your blood itself may freeze. There is, unlike Avernus, which is a perpetual sunset, here it is stark night. There is no light source anywhere around you guys, which means the only sight you have is your dark vision, which allows you to see 60-ish feet around you guys dimly. And beyond that, like, it's just spooky noises. You know, there's no sight here in Stygia. The one and only sort of sight, because you were dropped off on this dock where the boatman left, is the Stygia Visitor Center, sitting here with a flickering light from within, welcoming you guys in your stay here in Stygia. So I guess the first thing we got to clear up, based on last week, is you guys had these two items, and you guys were going to have to choose whether you were going to trade them retroactively back at Candlekeep or keeping them. So what was your guys' choice?
I think we decided to keep them for future leverage and or future trips to Candlekeep.
Yeah, I think we kept all four.
So you have the battles, what was it, the banner?
Battle Standard of Infernal Power.
Okay.
The Helm of Devil Command.
Okay.
The hammer from
the Madalock.
Zariel, and the Butcher Flail.
And the Butcher Flail from Yinogu. Okay.
All of that's in the bag of holding.
It's just all stuffed in the bag of holding. You got like these legendary artifacts that like anyone would like alter the course of history, and it's just shoved into a bag of holding.
Yeah, they have like Cheeto dust on the
Carried by a
handle.
very egotistical ASMR.
Yeah. That all checks out. So, welcome to Stygia. Let's see. Yeah, so I gotta pull up my notes real quick. We're out of published material, right? It's all on DM Steve's notes. So this is new territory. It's been a while since I did this. So yeah, so near the end of this dock lies an unassuming building. Its construction is made out of wood and stone, despite the fact that neither resource appears visible in the immediate area. The squat one-story building has a wooden sign outside written in Infernal with a single sentence: "Visitors, check in here." A light flickering inside lets you know somebody is home.
We should probably head in there first. They might know where the Red Kite is. I look over at Hal. Everyone got their cold weather clothes?
Yep.
Also,
Zeke is in this like ridiculously oversized winter coat where you can only see like the middle half of and higher of his face.
Yeah, and despite the fact you guys are bundled in the warmest clothes you could find, this place is still like cutting you to your core, like uncomfortably cold. It is not a very like hospitable place whatsoever. Saul is come along with you guys. Saul is still in like Pegasus form. Does not appear to be transformed here in Stygia. But Saul is like, G Marius, right? Like so cold, like stuttering and chittering like a valley girl. And
If it's
like
too much, I can send you back, and then I'll just summon you when you're needed.
yeah, did you buy warm weather like Pegasus clothes? Probably.
I would have brought like cold weather gear for a horse. How much would that have set me back? I've got the gold.
I mean, you guys have the gold. Probably just whatever it costs for a player, charge it for the horse or the Pegasus. Sorry.
Okay.
Saul
I'll minus
is
that out.
your summon greater steed, right? So, okay, and it's greater steed now. It's not just a normal steed, and the Pegasus form holds. Morthos, like you begin like trying to take like a step towards like the thing, and you look down and your feet have like set into the ice, and they've like immediately like crystallized to your feet, and you got to consciously like rip them out and free yourself. But like, yeah, this place, man, it's a different sort of hell than you're used to, but this place is already not fun. And so if you want to go to the visitor center, it is there, and you guys are, able to get there.
I will
Anything?
hover over.
Yeah, anything. Oh, yeah, that's right. Marius does not get stuck, but like you feel like the ice like crystallizing in your wings, right? And you feel like you got to like force it. And if you're not moving your wings constantly, the ice starts like building up on them, and then you move, and all like the ice crackles and falls from the feathers.
Yep, just billowing.
Yeah, but even though Morthos is struggling getting out of the snow, he just has this biggest grin on his face, like super happy.
Oh, it's because it's cold.
Place.
I'm going to be attuned to my ring as opposed to my bracers.
Okay. Which ring is that? You got so many magic items. Okay, yeah, so you have resistance to cold damage. So yeah, you instantly switch out. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm putting on the cold weather ring to get ready for this. The interesting thing here for you, Hal, is like even wearing this ring that attunes to like negative 50 degrees and also attunes you to like have cold resistance, it still cuts through. It is even colder than this.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. And so yeah, you make your way up to the visitor center, like Mary's just hovering. Everyone has what? Dark vision now, even Zeke, right?
Yeah, crab eyes can see
Oh
in the
wow!
dark.
Marius, you have true sight how far out?
Same as my dark vision, 60
So
feet.
60 feet. So yeah, so within 60 feet you guys can at least see what's going on, but beyond that it is dark here, guys. Okay, yeah, so you make your way up to the visitor center. What would you guys like to do?
Probably. Alpha's gonna take a look around, just to see if there's like anyone nearby.
Okay. In the immediate area outside of this place, there does not appear to be a single like soul, a person, just like a howling wind and like that sloshing water noise. But like, it appears you guys seem to be the only ones outside.
Visitor center?
Yeah, let's go in.
Yeah.
Just adjusting the sound or how. Yeah, so you open the door. Right, there's like you swing the door open. There's like a ding ding as a little bell gets hit as the door opens, and a little bit of the wind chill immediately like fades off you. It's still unbearably cold, but at least it's a slight reprieve from what's going on outside. And there appears to be like a small sort of gift shop set up, right? There's like a desk at the far end, and there's an amnesu, which is there. So like amnesus look like. Wait, how come I can't pop up an amnesu? Hang on. Okay, for some reason it was bringing the one. So this is what amnesias look like.
Oh, lovely.
Short green kind of skin. They got like little tiny wings that look like they would not support their like oversized like bloated body. And one of them is just sitting like kind of like casually behind like a counter, filling out paperwork. Right? There's like a small gift shop to the side where it looks like there's different kind of things for purchase. And there appears to be just like a bunch of like chairs. And there's maybe like 5 or 6 like different people here, like devils, almost all devils that are sitting here, just sitting in the waiting room, and they're all holding like a ticket. And like right above the amnesu, there's like a now serving, and it says now serving number 1365. And like this amnesu looks up at you, and then in Infernal says, please take a number. We'll be with you shortly.
I guess I'll go take a number. What number is the ticket?
So Zeke struts over there like do you walk sideways like a crab?
Of course.
Like, so you Zoidberg it?
Yeah, just turn 90 degrees and then walk and then turn 90 degrees again.
Yeah, so you reach up, you take the ticket number, and you look down at your ticket number. Your ticket says number 1485. And you look back up, and it's serving 1365. And like as you take the ticket, he like looks up, and then he pushes the little button on the desk, and then the number up top rolls over to 1366, and he comes on the loudspeaker, and he goes, now serving 1366. And he looks at you kind of confused. And says, take a seat.
Okay, I'll sit down.
Yeah. And you know, he calls this number, and you guys all look around, right? There's definitely not hundreds of people here. Like, there's over 100 numbers between what's being served and you guys. And there's clearly only like 4 or 5 other groups of people here. And like nobody comes when that number gets called.
I guess I'll wave everyone else over and show them that the ticket number is significantly higher than the current number.
Last call, ticket 1366.
Is that our number? Should we head over?
No, our number is 1,480 something.
Do we?
I don't know.
We can always take
1366.
We can always take shifts, set up the fortress outside, get comfortable, relax, and then just take shifts, and someone sits in here and until we get called. I mean,
or we can just take that number since no one looks like nobody's going.
Yeah, and
yeah, but we'd need the ticket.
And so when it's like 1366 no longer serviced, and you watch as like behind the counter he like reaches up and he takes this little like hanger thing he has, like this little like placard, and he puts it on his desk, and it just says, you know, on break, back in 20 minutes. And he gets up from his desk and like walks behind to the employees only area.
Or we can just ask for directions if someone knows where the Red Kite is, and we can just head out.
There's a few other people in here, right?
There are.
Operating.
Yeah, it looks like there is a couple of like imps in one group. There is a horned devil sitting patiently on the other end, and they all like seem to be like avoiding eye contact with you like as much as possible.
We're a bunch of weirdos.
You guys are the weirdos in this situation.
Yeah, one of us
is the weirdos. What are you talking about?
Flying angel, the other one's a crab. And then the normal people don't breathe. I guess I'll just go over to the group of imps and ask them in Infernal, just, how long have you all been here?
Let's do this. Make a persuasion check. See if you can even get him to talk to you.
Oh, you know me, really good at roll. Oh, okay.
Look at you talking
Look at
crap on
that.
yourself.
Yeah, 19. The dicey. It doesn't matter what you're good at. The dice tell us what you're good at, right?
Perfect.
So they look you up and down, and they're very curious about what you are, because you don't appear to be at least like a normal human, and it kind of piques their interest. So they're like, not too bad. I think we're coming up on 2 days.
2 days?
Well, yeah, that's not bad. Oh, gotta call out. We got a $30 donation from Drowsword in chat. Thank you. That's awesome, man. You keep coming to our stream and donating. That's awesome. Like
Congrats, man. That's
we,
awesome.
we
Thank
love you. Yeah, but like I feel bad because you keep throwing money at us. So
We don't have any drows to give swords to.
yeah, we're gonna need to get some drows in here. Also, that looks like it wasn't even through the Extra Life campaign. That just looks like it was a direct $30 donation. Wow.
Very nice.
Dang.
Thank you. So
All right, Zeke, pull a.
yeah, they say yeah, you know,
Switch out
just
the tickets.
2 days. It's not that bad, but like they hold up the ticket. And they're like, we're next.
Switch the tickets like Beetlejuice. Come on.
Marius,
Yeah, very Beetlejuicy.
Marius just kind of calls over and says, ask him why we have to do this. If we have to do this, like, is this just a formality? Is this necessary for us to be here? Like, do we even have to be here?
Okay. I'm gonna relay that back to the imps, just basically asking the same questions of like why is this necessary? What are y'all trying to figure out? Like, what is here?
Yeah, they look at you very kind of complicated, like you're asking them something that like does not compute at all for them. And like, well, what do you mean? That's what the rules are. The law says if you transfer here, you have to check in, get our travel papers stamped. They all like have like a stack of travel papers next to them, and they're like, we're here on transfer. Like, obviously, we got to do things the right way.
So you only need to get your travel papers checked if you're here on transfer then.
Well, all visitors to each lair here in Bator need to be like approved by the lord of that lair, of course. What are you gonna do? Just not follow the rules? Come on.
You said your ticket was next, right?
He nods emphatically. Yeah.
I am going to pretend to trip down and cast fog cloud as I do it,
Oh God.
and then try and see if
Here
I
we
can
go.
swap the tickets
I love-
out.
Beetlejuice.
I love how Zeke has companions in his group who are super good at the stuff that he's about to do, and he's like, "Nah, guys, I got this. You just sit over there. I'm gonna rob the DMV real quick.
No,
You guys
I'm
chill."
robbing people at the DMV. It's very different.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While I notice him like do a quick glance around before he cast fog cloud,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look around. Are there any invisible like creatures that are here to like defend this place if someone starts to throw down? Is there anything I'm seeing in here?
Actually, surprisingly, there doesn't seem to be anything invisible. You don't see any armed guards or anything. It's literally just like a gift shop with this one Amnesu that's running things.
Huh.
You're like, oh God, I gotta look. No, there's nothing.
Interesting.
I'll kind of at the same time fall down, pretend to sneeze, and have that be my cover, quote unquote cover for casting fog cloud. And then, do you want to sleight of hand and try to swap the tickets out?
Well, okay, you cast fog cloud. The whole room like immediately fills up with like fog, right? And everyone here is like used to this. Half your party has freaking blind sight.
We all shake our heads though. We're used to it, but we're not exactly cool with it.
You cast. So you wait. You don't have blind sight though, right, Zeke?
No, I don't.
Wow.
So those of you with blind sight see
just
Zeke
watching
cast the
this guy
fog
just,
cloud
like-
and then start reaching for this like thing's ticket, right? Do you have the other ticket too? You're trying to like swap the two tickets?
Yeah, I would assume that I would be the one holding the other ticket because I'm the one who picked it up and was showing it. So yeah,
Oh
I'm going
my
to swap
God.
the two tickets with Kinsters.
Give me a sleight of hand check.
Look how defeated Steve sounds.
If only.
Oh my God!
Oh my God.
A natural 20 with no bonus. Just a straight natural 20 with a 20.
This is
I'm
ridiculous.
This is-
rolling like a 5 meets that.
This is peak Zeke and peak Beyond Avernus, and this is where the dice are truly on your side in telling the story. So the fog cloud goes up, and as deftly as possible, you freaking reach out and swap his ticket with your ticket, and like plug it out of his hand, and it like the other ticket like lands on him. And then what do you do with that like switch?
I back up. Even I'm in the fog.
I,
so
I,
can't see them.
I see him like do the switch and then just like not know where to go, and I grab him by the shoulder and I pull him away from the group and be like, "You're so lucky that worked."
Somebody cast an illusion on this, so it looks like theirs. It looks like the our old number. Why
Do
you
me-
think their ticket's wrong?
Do me one favor, like what are the components of fog cloud, right? Is it somatic? Are there verbal components?
Verbal and somatic, yeah.
Okay.
So as Zeke was pretending to fall, he went shoo, and just kind of like wiggled his claws around a little bit.
And made okay, yeah. And so, do you keep the fog cloud here, like for how long?
Long enough, I guess, for us to, no, I feel like if I put it down, that's admitting defeat.
Well, yeah, because they'll see that their ticket's wrong. So maybe you should leave it up until the next number gets called.
Yeah.
And then, they'll walk up to the counter
He
and
said
be like,
back
"Hey,
in
this
20
is."
minutes.
Yeah, so leave it up, and then when he calls the next number, he'll go up to the thing, and the guy will be like, "No, that's not right. You have a different number," and the guy will get all confused, and then you walk up. I guess I don't know.
I think that's the plan.
Right. So,
You were told us it was on us to keep this entertaining.
no, this is perfect. Yeah, but like the rest of the lobby kind of like goes into a bit of a panic, right? With the fog cloud just like fills the thing, and everyone's like scrambling and like trying to figure out what's going on. Even like the amnesia that's in charge like comes out from the back room like off his break because you interrupted this poor guy's union break. How dare you? And so, yeah.
So he's having a bad day at work.
Yep. Yeah, very much. And so now you have you have one, what is it? 1367 is what you have now.
Oh yeah, we have 6-7 because they called 6-6.
Yeah.
And they
So
have 1485.
yeah, they have a ticket that's like gonna make them wait like another few days, right? Poor guy. Poor
I'm
Imp.
gonna be pissed.
I'm gonna
Imp Willie.
take Zeke and put him on the other side of like,
Try to hide me.
yeah, on the other side of Saul, and just be like, stand on the other side of the horse and don't draw attention to yourself.
What if I just leave the
Wait,
building? and
you
then
brought
they
Saul in the visitor center, like in the gift shop?
Yeah, I've gotten him out of the cold, man.
He shoved him through the door, like to squeeze him in here. I mean, let's be real. The door is fairly sizable because there are some large devils, so it's more accommodating than like a humanoid gift shop would be. But I just like the image of that. You bring the horse in.
The full body, like full fur coat, is designed for a normal horse, so his wings are underneath it. So no one's going to notice that this is a Pegasus unless they get very close.
Zeke is now hiding on the other side of this horse.
Yeah,
I
and
just love the complete disregard. I'll just get behind the horse in the DMV.
yeah, and so like with that, like just like a very normal sort of like voice back on the speaker, like now serving 1367. And like the little like group of imps that you had like stolen the ticket from get really excited and they all like get up and start moving towards the counter.
Zeke, give your ticket to Ava.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Why
hold
am
my
I
hand
getting
out.
this?
I can't see any of you, so just here.
No, I'm not taking this.
Hal, do you want to take it?
Yes, give it to me.
Okay, I can't see. You guys take it. I have claws.
I'll take it from him.
And I'll hover next to Hal when he approaches the
I
camera.
think at this point I'm actually gonna go wait outside just for complete confidence.
And is the fog cloud still going? I forgot.
It lasts an hour. It's
just-
going
it's-
until we get up to the counter. And
So everyone's like reaching around like blindly through the fog, trying to find like the thing. But like the guy behind the counter just keeps carrying on like business as usual, like barely even acknowledges it. But the imps are, you hear them like tripping over like chairs and each other and like dropping stuff, and like a cup of pins hits the floor and spills across.
And Hal and I just walk confidently through the fog cloud.
You guys have
'cause
blind
this is
sight.
something we're used to.
guys, you have to sell it. You have to sell it. Just out from the corner.
Oh, I'm like flying, and I just kick a chair over as we go by.
Very nice. Let me check something.
While this is happening, Ava just drags Morthos over to the gift shop area. He's like, we don't know these people.
Never seen him.
Wait, is the gift shop within 20 feet of where I was when I cast Fog Cloud?
Oh yeah, like it's basically like it's the whole place is not super big, so I think your fog cloud fills the whole thing.
You can't even browse the gift shop.
I got blind sight.
Oh, yeah, for Ava does.
Yeah. So, what's that?
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you make your way to the front counter. You guys can go browse the gift shop with your blind sight, and congratulations. And the imps are like, they're like, I can't see, but here's our ticket, and they're like putting their ticket like on the counter.
And then I'm gonna motion. That's when Zeke will drop it
Okay.
because he's at the counter.
Yeah, I'm like behind the door. I see that and I drop it. Well, I guess I don't see that.
But you hear the imp though. The imp said, "Oh,
Oh, yeah.
can't see, but here's my ticket."
Yeah, so then I'll drop the Fog Cloud.
Yeah, so you drop the fog cloud, right? And like it like slowly like dissipates, and they're like holding the ticket, and even the amnesia's like he's like waving the air trying to like get sight of this ticket, so it like clears out, and he's looking at the ticket, and he just looks at him and he says, "Wrong number," and he hands it back to them. And the imp like picks it up incredulously and is like looking at it and like muttering like under his breath. And then what? Like Marius and or is it Hal that strides up?
With Marius next to him.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
just walk up, put it on the counter.
You put it on the counter. He looks at it. He picks it up and looks at you guys, and looks at the imps. And the imps look at you with their jaw like kind of like dropped, and is just like,
Oh, fuck.
"Welcome to Stygia. How may I help you?" And like the imps are like wait, no, wait a minute. We've been here for 2 days. You saw us sitting there for 2 days. And he's like, listen, they have the ticket. The rules say if you have the ticket, you get to go next. And
Holy shit.
and yeah, they are like super like pissed, and they're like, where's that god dang crab guy? And they're like looking around. And Zeke's like slipped out in the cover, right?
Yeah, I'm like slightly outside, like listening to see if they're storming out yet.
So they're like looking at you and they're sizing you up, and there's 3 little imps, and you guys are like, you got like a giant angelic dude. You have a crab man, a Pegasus horse creature. You know, Hal looks fairly menacing. Like, what do you look like in your winter clothes, Hal?
You might be muted, Rick.
Yeah, if you're talking, you're muted.
It's there's a bunch of whites, and my hood's pulled up and it's just fluffy. I look like the guy who's never seen snow, who's out in the snow.
So, these imps, they size you up, and like they know that like you guys screw them over, but there's no way they can do anything here to actually like get you guys back because you are way like more powerful than them. And B, as like imps and so low on like the hierarchy here in hell, they are used to being like taken advantage of. So like they want to do something and you can see it, but they just like, one of them is just like, it's not worth it. And like they go back and they sit back down with their ticket, knowing they're going to be sitting here for another 2 days until somebody helps them.
Okay, how evil do I become after that action, Steve?
Yeah. It doesn't matter, man. You're not a cleric anymore. It doesn't matter.
So this Amnesu is basically like says like, my name is Laginus. I am here to be your guide, your welcomer to Stygia. May I see your travel papers?
Fuck, I should have stolen those too.
I'll look at Marius.
I thought you had travel papers in the documents you were given.
Oh
Didn't
yeah,
you?
let me see. And then I'll go through my documents.
Yeah, you start going through the documents and stuff and like looking for like travel favors and like, I mean, why don't you give me like an investigation check, Hal? Because like,
Oh no.
Hal's
We
not
would have found those though on the when we were going.
Yeah.
Because he showed me all the paperwork. So
Sure. Yeah. So with all the paperwork that you guys went through, like you don't remember ever seeing anything that resembles what he's asking for, like traveling papers.
Cool.
Yeah, this seems to be.
I'm
Know,
still
he's
gonna
asking-
look.
Yeah, you're like, excuse me, one second. He's like going through, right? Like taking your time to go through each paper. But yeah, you spend some time going through. You can make the investigation check. Yeah, with the 10, you go through like all the papers and like it takes you. You're like, just one more minute, and you keep going through. Nothing in your packet seems to resemble what he's calling traveling papers.
Who do you get travel papers from? Actually,
Usually you would check in, assuming that you have come from. Oh, you guys just got off the boat, I believe, right? So I'm assuming you came in fresh from Avernus, so you should have checked in there, made sure you got your papers before carrying on here. Have you, by chance, lost or misplaced them? Because if so, we can certainly put in for like an emergency processing and get you new ones created.
yeah, we might have to do that because when we were going through Avernus, there was a change in leadership during the war up there. You know, between Zariel and everything. So there wasn't actually, the government was taking a break during that time period.
Oh yeah. He looks at you like you are telling the most like the worst lie that this thing has ever heard, because for like a government office to shut down here in like Avernus or something like that, that's like impossible. He just like, it's again like there's this language barrier where they don't even understand how that could be a reality, and he looks at you very, very confused as you say that, but goes, right. Well, we can certainly begin the processing. 2 soul coins to begin the processing of the paperwork, unless of course you're looking at expediting the paperwork.
Would that be paperwork for the whole party or just for one person?
Well, the traveling papers are good for 1 soul, along with up to 4 subordinates or direct reports. So,
Okay.
which one of you is in charge?
I immediately point at Marius.
Marius just kind of dips his head for a second. He's like, okay, yes, that's me.
Okay. So, if you want to, we can begin with that. 1 second, he reaches down in his desk drawer and opens it, slams it, pulls it out, and puts like this really thick stack of papers down. Like, I'm talking like, 3 inches thick of paperwork, slams it down on the desk in front of you, and pushes it over your way, and says, you guys might want to get started on filling this out.
Of course.
It'll cost
Of
2 soul
course.
coins for the processing.
What's the expedited cost?
1 extra soul coin.
I look over at Hal. How many soul coins do we have?
I have this one.
I have 1 as
We have
well.
4 total.
We have 4
Yeah.
total.
5 total.
I thought we paid 1.
We
I
did.
think we all have 1 each.
Oh, you're right. We have 4. 1, 2.
We used it for the machine, the war machine.
Yep, I just didn't. Yeah, that's right. I updated that, but I didn't update my final number. Yep, 4.
What's the difference between the regular processing and the expedited processing? What's the time difference?
Well, it really depends. I don't do the processing here. We just forward it to the other office, who then takes care of it. But traditionally, without rush processing, we're looking at a couple of days, usually 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And with rush processing, 2 hours.
Do we want to wait here?
Definitely rush processes.
Okay. I yell over to the gift center. I say, we need another soul coin.
Ava gives Marius a dirty look as she's like showing Morthos this like cute little figurine that she found.
Yeah, so as a matter of fact, like in the gift shop, there are like a couple of things that shine out, right? Like, there are actually a bunch of really tall, like really small figurines that are carved out of ice. And so the ones that you see, like there are different devil forms, of course. There is one that's like a giant iceberg that somehow has like a face carved in the center of the iceberg. And there is even, there's just like all these little knickknacks, like any sort of like fun thing you would find. So what does Ava pick up? What is the ice sculpture that catches your eye? Like, what does it look like?
The iceberg.
Well, you can make up one if you had one in mind, like what were besides the ones I named, right?
Nah, I'll go with the iceberg. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, you pick up the little iceberg, and they look like they're sold as like little like traveling souvenir keepsake. So you bring it over and show it to Marius, and Longinus is like, yeah, those are for sale if you're interested. They're 10 gold each.
Marius, what did you want?
We need to pay for expedited processing on paperwork that we didn't get in Avernus. And if we pay an extra soul coin, it'll be 2 hours instead of 2 days. So I figured we might want to pay the difference.
Ava sighs and digs up her last soul coin.
I'm very sorry. And then he hands her 50 gold and says, as an apology for taking your last soul coin, Lady Linacker, gift shop is yours.
Thanks. And she just like walks back to Morthos looking a little confused.
Yeah, so in addition to the ice figurines that you guys are finding, there's also like lots of like little things like here, like basically there's like various types of clothing, like cold weather clothes, just clothes that say like, I went to Stygia and it's just like, and all I got was crabs or something, like all kinds of like very touristy slogans. You guys can fill in the blanks of whatever you want. There is clothing, backpacks, postcards, self-flagellation whips, bracelets, sunglasses, sweatshirts, sacrificial daggers, and bags of candy cold to the touch.
I hand the desk person 2 soul coins, then I look at Hal. Hal has one, right?
Yes.
Are you there, Rick? Are you muted?
Yep.
Are you sliding
I have
over
one.
your one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah,
hand over 3.
yeah, and so he takes the soul coins and looks at them and says, "All right, fill these out and bring them back up when you're done." And so he hands you the stack of papers and with like a pencil on top or a pen, right? Reading pen probably. And you go over and look at it and like the first thing, like it's a bunch of inane questions that just no doubt get on your nerves, right? So you're talking, it's like, it starts off pretty normal. It's like name, place of birth, plane of origin, if applicable, reason for business in the 9 hells. So what do you put for your reason for business in the 9 hells?
Retrieval and rescue.
Okay. Have you brought any food or creatures from a different plane of existence?
Yes.
Please, if yes, please specify.
Greater Steed, Pegasus. Do we have any other
crab.
pets? Is Zeke the crab person? No, I'm just kidding.
Should we put Morthos as Brontosaurus?
Ooh.
She's a Littlefoot.
No, because I'll put Fey Brontosaurus Littlefoot.
Okay. Yeah. And then it's like, do you intend to overthrow the Lords of Stygia Levistus or otherwise cause any harm to his rule?
No.
How long do you pause before you write the no?
No pause. Like we're passing
We don't
through.
intend
You know what I mean?
Five.
Right. Yeah.
There's no intention to anything. we
Right.
do,
I
okay?
whisper over and say, "Hey, maybe we should call Imp Willie to fill this out for us."
No, we only have 1 soul coin left. We're not going to pay for his notary
Like
services.
pop. Like you need a lawyer?
No, we don't. Thank you. Hi, Imp Willie. Not right now. Thank you.
Fine. Pops out.
You can't even say his name.
No,
You're
I
gonna
will never
invoke
say his
him.
name again. I didn't realize it popped out like that.
Do you denounce Garion's influence on perjury of death?
What's a Garion?
What am I supposed to? Yeah, what am I supposed to even respond here?
If you say no, you just die. Who would say no?
Okay, so yes, sure. But I don't know the context. So
Okay, let's say, why don't you give me a religion check here, Marius?
Oh, I'm
I'm
so
glad
good
Zeke
at
is
that.
outside, so we can't fail the check.
Like religion,
Wow,
history,
it
one of the
rolled
two.
so many times onto a natural one.
Oh my god.
Oh, history? History, it's a 6, but it's still a natural one.
Yeah. You like immediately draw a blank on who, Garion might actually be.
Yeah, whatever. I still say yes because
I mean, you could ask
We're
one of your
past
party
that.
members, but okay. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, and then do you prefer cats or dogs as a companion? The questions start getting more inane as you go on.
Is there like a C, like both, or you have to pick one?
The question just says, do you prefer cats or dogs? There doesn't seem to be an option for neither, but you could certainly try to answer that way.
I mean, like, I don't know, cats.
Or crabs.
Wait, hold on. There is a C option then.
I'm allergic to cats, but okay. Only wife said cats, so we'll put cats.
Yeah. And so like more and more you go on, the more inane and obtuse the questions seem to become, and it takes you so long to fill these out. Like by the end of it, like you guys have fought like demon lords and banished them back to like the abyss. This is probably more mentally exhausting than anything you've ever done in your life, Marius. But by the end, finally like it asks for the names of your traveling companions, and also their titles/roles.
Rolls.
Okay, so I'll put my own name and say, leader, I guess, because I don't know what else to put.
Marius, leader.
For
Oh no, he's writing it down.
for Zeke, I'll say moral support.
Moral support. Okay.
I can't put fog cloud. Sorry. Zeke.
That's better. Fog Cloud
for
is moral support.
For Hal, I'll put tracking.
Okay.
For Morthos, I'll say travel. For Ava, I'll say acquisitions.
Okay. I think that's
And
everyone.
then for Saul, I'll say beast of burden, just because I'll know they'll piss Saul off.
Yeah, there's only a place for 4 companions. Because when you checked in, they said there's 4.
Yeah.
Now there's a little addendum here that says like add up to 10 additional traveling companions for 1 soul coin.
Oh.
But nobody's like.
I'll just unsummon Saul.
I mean, the question is like, what does it mean to not put Saul here? I don't know.
Yeah.
It also is asking for souls. Is Saul a soul? I don't know.
No, that's true.
Philosophical
That's true.
question.
When we turn in the paperwork, I'll ask the desk person and be like, I have a mount who is like a summoned celestial that
He's a
is
celestial?
like bond. Okay.
The amnesia with the desk
A
is actually
summoned
Jeremy
creature.
Crawford.
A summoned creature bound to me. Like, does that count as a companion or?
Oh no, we're more interested in like your immediate, like permanent companions, summons, stuff like that.
Right.
Do not need to be registered.
Okay. Just thought so. All right, cool.
Yeah. And you've been filling this paperwork out for like hours now, right? And like the number counter has not changed the whole time that you guys have been here.
This is
The
actually
imps must
me.
hate us.
Fucking imps are pissed.
Well, this is why it takes like days for anything to get done here, right? So you slide
While they're
over.
filling out the paperwork, can I ritual cast Commune with Nature?
Of course.
Heck yeah. I want to know about. It's only 3 miles, but I figure it's a good indication of like powerful fiends, influence from other planes and terrain, basically.
Interesting. So you briefly become one with nature, and gain the knowledge of the surrounding territory in the outdoors. The spell gives you knowledge of the land within 3 miles of you. You instantly gain knowledge up to 3 facts of your choice, right? So which 3 did you choose?
Powerful, in this case, probably.
Oh,
just
maybe
fiends.
it's... You're right, maybe... Okay, yeah. So powerful fiends. I mean, your radar, like, lights up like a Christmas tree when it comes to, like... Well, yeah, and it's Christmas week, so that's a good apt analogy, right? Like, there are so many, like, celestials fiends and powerful fiends, like, within 3 miles of you that it makes your heart skip a beat a little bit. Which is not necessarily uncommon, right? You guys are in hell, so you're pretty much always within spitting distance of some sort of thing. So does it say... I guess one of the more powerful fiends within 3 miles of you is this Amnesu that's behind the desk.
Oh.
He seems to be pretty high in the hierarchy, and he comes up as a fairly prominent one. Everything else just seems to be, like, less prominent, like the imps and stuff barely ping on your radar, right? Terrain, you feel nothing but, like, ocean and ice as far as you, like, reach out. There's, like, there's definitely, like, ice and glaciers, like, you can feel it, like, shifting from underneath you. There's definitely, like, water deep below you, and there's also this third sort of presence, which is, like, the river Styx seems to cut through this plane, and despite the fact that the river Styx is a body of water, and you're floating on a body of water, it seems to be a separate entity.
Okay,
It doesn't really gel with, like, you know, your thoughts of how, like, bodies of water would work, but something here keeps them separate from each other.
Which direction does it leave in? Like, what direction does the River Styx flow in from here?
It seems to be flowing from the southwest to the northeast, although, like, on this map where you guys are here, right, it's kind of going in this sort of direction. I don't know if you can see my arrow.
So, like, southeast to northwest?
Like, this water, like, here, right? So you guys are, like, this water here, this river that you see, that is, like, the river Styx.
Oh, okay. I don't need to write this down, then. That'll be on the map.
Yeah, so the river Styx is there on the map. And then, lastly, influence from other planes. It's weird because you do get a sense of feeling like, even though this is a plane, and even though it is definitely its own sort of self-contained lair, there is something here which feels off, and it feels like maybe this plane originated somewhere else and then made its way here. Almost like this plane and the ice and the water and everything around you didn't originate from the Nine Hells, but migrated here some long time ago and has now become one with Hell, but maybe didn't start here.
Huh. Okay, thank you for indulging me. That was super interesting.
Sure. So that's what you do outside freezing your crab butt off while they're inside filling out paperwork. So yeah, yeah, you fill out the paperwork. When it's ready for processing, an imp shows up, looks over the paperwork real quick, and says, "Okay, I'll be back." And then picks up the paperwork, puts it in his little messenger bag, and like flies like out the window. And then he just says, you know, "Take a seat. It'll take a few hours." And he also says, "Oh, and by the way, if I know this lair seems to have an effect on people who are not used to it. If the cold is too much, then we have options. We offer these necklaces," and he does 1 second, he reaches down and pulls it out, and he holds it up, and there's just like simple like black cord with a shard of very deep dark ice like on the end of it, like in a sharp, almost like an arrowhead. And he says, like, these will acclimate you to the lair and make it so that you are more comfortable. You can buy or rent as you need.
Would define sense give me anything on that item, or does it only work on creatures?
It's only a creature sort of thing.
Okay. I don't trust the way that ice looks.
Yeah, it looks a little off. But he does say, like, if you're interested in purchasing one, they are available for 10 Zol coins. And if you're renting, then it only costs 1, but they require collateral to be held, and then you get the item back when you return the shard. Just, he tries to, like, sell you, and he says, and we're also offering a deal here where if you can convince 2 of your friends to buy one, and they convince 2 of their friends to buy one, you get yours at half price. Yeah, hell is a terrible place.
Yep. I think we're good.
No, yeah, and a few hours pass, right? And nothing, like, this Amnesia is sitting there, and, like, he's reading his, like, magazine, and, like, no work is happening while you guys are being serviced here. And, like, all the other, like, fiends here don't seem to even, like, notice or care, except for the imps who are really, like, mad at you guys, but can't do a thing about it. And, yeah, the imp comes back and hands over the stack of papers to the Amnesia, who looks at it, gets his little stamp out, stamps it, puts it in place, like kind of squares them up, and then hands them over to you guys and says, everything just seems to be in order. Welcome to Stygia.
Thank you.
Yep. And yeah, you take your paperwork, and it doesn't feel like anything has changed as far as you can tell, except for you have a stack of papers stamped and signed that make this legit.
Before we leave, I'm going to ask one last question. We need to find a place called the Red Kite.
I'm not familiar with that establishment, but we do have guide services. If you're looking for a native guide of the lair, I could arrange that.
We really just need to talk to somebody who knows the area. We don't need someone to personally take us there. Just kind of point us in the right direction. Is there anyone who would be able to help with that?
Well, is this Red Kite, is that like a military outpost? Is that some sort of like fighting pit? Like what is it we're talking about?
It's a supply shop.
Oh, so that's the name of a shop. Got it. What city? What settlement?
Is that in the paperwork?
It wasn't in what. It wasn't in anything I copied down from. But I believe he did say it was in a city, Tamplin.
There you go. That is the name.
Yeah. See, that's not in the pinned tweet or the pinned message from the stuff you gave us before.
Maybe
All
not.
right,
Yeah.
So yes, I say that.
That makes a little more sense. So he says, "Oh yeah, absolutely." So what you're gonna want to do, and it's hard because this place is constantly shifting, and you can fly, so it shouldn't be an issue for you, but your companions may have a bit of an issue. But what you're gonna want to do is go outside, find the river Styx, and follow it in that direction. And he kind of points in like a southeast direction. Eventually, you will come across the settlement. It's everything here shifts. However, the city is always anchored to the edge of the river Styx. Tantalin. Can't miss it. It's the biggest. It's like the biggest. I mean, most people come here. They come here for. They have business to do in the major city. That's where they go.
Perfect. That's what we needed. Thank you. Hope you have a good day.
Pushes a button on the desk. Now serving 1, 3, 6, 8.
We walk away.
Everyone in the room like looks at their ticket and then goes back to being like super sad. And you guys go outside. Yeah. Did anyone else buy anything from the gift shop, or is it just that one? Did you even buy the ice figurine, Ava?
Nope.
just put it back. Yeah. Okay. So from there we cut back to our. So you guys now have free reign of Stygia, right? So the way this works is I've drawn the map of Stygia, and it is divided into these hex grids that are fairly big. So each grid is an 8 mile across, right? So that's like super big. And so each time, basically it takes 4 hours of you guys traveling to cross that 8 mile sort of hex. because what you guys are doing, right? These things are like giant ice chunks that like are constantly moving and shifting. So you guys are basically waiting until the ice chunks come close enough to each other, and then doing like a more thing or like shuttling over on like Saul one at a time. It slows down your movement, but you guys can essentially choose which direction you want to travel each day, right? So you guys can move 8 hours a day. So what that means is for every day of time, you guys are allowed to move 2 hexes. And during your travels, I have randomized charts, which I need to open my macros right now, that actually track, what encounters happen for each day until we get to where you guys are going.
Non-magical, difficult terrain?
It would be... Yeah, I think it's non-magical. It's just... It's floating ice and stuff, but it's not magical. It's not non-magical, yeah.
Oh, wait, you have Landstride too?
Yeah.
Hey, buddies. Zeke and Hal are doing fine. Everyone really confused why everyone else is taking a long time.
Yeah. So, I think, you guys are not slowed down by, the ice and stuff. There's still the slow down when you're trying to, wait for the ice flows to sort of, sync up so you guys can travel. But, but you guys don't have, if the ground, for instance, is, slippery and icy here, which it is, for you guys would not be, hindered by that difficult terrain. So Zeke and Hal, even though, all the ice here and all the battlefields will be difficult terrain, not for you guys. Because it's not magical, it's just cold. So that's cool. I didn't know you guys actually had that.
Would crampons or anything help with that, or snowshoes?
It would help in terms of if you're wearing them. It would help if you have to make any sort of save against going prone or anything like that.
Okay, I would take the crampons I bought and ask if anybody needs them, or if everybody picked those up before we left.
Would my
Are there any crampons in the visitor center?
There are, as a matter of fact.
Natural explorer provide that ability to my group?
Pop it in chat. What are your favorite terrains?
Looks like
I know-
Desert Mountain Arctic.
I know desert was one. What was your other ones?
They're at the bottom of that box.
Oh, I see. Oh, you got 3 now. Desert, mountain, and Arctic. Interesting.
Damn.
So choose one type of favorite terrain, and then it says you have basically expertise when you are in it. When you're traveling an hour or more, difficult terrain does not slow your group's travel. Your group can't become lost except by magical means. So you definitely can't get lost, which is good. Even when you're engaged in their activity, you're alert to danger. You're not traveling alone. But you guys can move a little faster than usual, so that's interesting.
Well, I've got 2 sets of crampons that I will not be using because I'm hovering, so I will give them to Morthos and Ava.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So yeah, I think what I will then do is, instead of moving at 2 hexes, because you are naturally adapted to this Arctic climate and really good at it, I will let you guys move 3 hexes per day.
Sick, thank you.
Okay.
33% more chance for encounters. Hooray.
So interestingly, I roll the encounters not per hex but per day of travel. So moving more faster through the land doesn't give more of a chance at encounters.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So moving faster actually would indeed make it interesting. So yeah, for the crampons, if you guys want to buy some in the shop, they're here. The problem is they're marked up at 10 times the player's handbook prices. However, I don't think they're that expensive to begin with, right?
I had 2 sets. I just gave them to Morthos and Ava because they're the only people who are going to be dealing with it.
I guess
Okay,
that's true.
guys, I have an idea, right? So, Steve, just to clarify, the obstacles to us moving quickly is the fact that the ice is shifting, right?
The ice is shifting. It's constantly moving. You guys are constantly waiting for the flows to come close enough that you can kind of move across it. And even then, moving across the ice itself is difficult because it's thick, cold snow. Blizzards blow through, right? It's the worst of like the Arctic and being on an iceberg at the same time.
So if we were flying, we wouldn't have, like if Marius had to go somewhere by himself, he wouldn't have that problem. Because he'd be flying.
Yes.
So if we were all flying with wind walk at 300 speed for 8 hours, how many hexes would we get? Because we can also dash.
I don't think you could dash constantly without getting exhausted.
Even if we are clouds, that's fair.
See, you're trying to like kill. Like I'm like, here's this hex grid, guys. Let's do it. And you guys are like, wait a minute, I have all these abilities that let me say, screw your hex crawl, DM, which I'm all for. But that's D&D in a nutshell.
Steve.
Okay, wait. Let me just put these up real quick. I'm putting up some macros, and then I'll get back. I'll give you the full attention you need in a second.
Go for it. Yeah. I'm casting spells today.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So let's check wind walk real quick. You and up to 10 willing creatures you can see for 8 hours. Assume gaseous forms for the duration, appearing as wisps of clouds. When in this cloud form, a creature has a flying speed of 300 feet, which is amazingly fast. And resistance to damage from non-magical weapons. The only things you can take are dash. Well, actually, Windwalk says you can take the dash action, so like...
Yeah.
I feel like, because like when you're in chases and stuff, there's like a limit to how fast you could dash, but like because I think this is like a special form of the Windwalk, like I guess that means you could probably do it. I mean, it calls out specifically you can dash. If it didn't intend you to be able to dash in that form the whole time, it probably wouldn't say that. So that's something I gotta take into consideration. Reverting takes a whole minute, during which you're incapacitated and can't move, and until the spell ends, a creature can revert to cloud form. Oh yeah, also 1 minute. So 300 feet per second, per 6 seconds, right? Dashing 6. I think if you like wind walk, you could just like travel like across the plane wherever you want to go without issue, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
It's literally a
Listen to
transportation
Tyler
spell.
cackle.
Yeah.
I know.
The downside being,
such a good day. It's been like an hour.
if something sees you and engages you, you have no defenses against it, right?
We can go 100 feet per second. That's a pretty good defense.
That's the defense, right? Is getting the hell out of there.
How are there archers going to be able to hit 100 feet per second gas cloud?
I'm trying to think, like, what if you come into like a dispel magic bubble, or what if somebody casts like hold person on you as you fly by? But that would have to be like ready. They'd be like, all right, here they come, go! You know what I mean? Like 600 feet per second is like, or per 6 seconds. That's 100 feet per second. That's pretty fast. What is that in miles per hour?
I'll do that real quick.
Do the math on that.
100 feet per second to mph. That's 68 miles an hour.
But that's not even dash speed, right? That's your non-dash speed too. No, that is the dash speed because that's 600. Yeah.
So I mean, if you can accurately cast a spell on something going 70 miles per hour, then
Yeah, that's 34 miles per hour non-dash.
Right.
yeah, that's if they catch us unaware, not dash.
I would say the biggest concern would be flying into like a blizzard and getting like caught in the wind tornadoes and like whipping around like crazy. But I don't think anything reasonably is going to be able to actually like catch up with you guys and like engage you. You know what I mean? So that is super interesting. So do the math and tell me how many miles you could travel in an hour in that form. Since we know
64.
I guess that's true. We
68.
literally calculated how many miles per hour.
Yeah.
Yep. 68.
So for every 1 hour of travel, you can move.
Like half the map.
Yeah, like 8 hexes per hour.
And this description implies that we can still like see and react to things. So
We can't talk though.
I mean,
That's what the sending stones are for.
We're wind.
Yeah, we're clouds. There are no setting stones anymore.
We can't just be on our phones as clouds.
So yeah, I am absolutely. This is a 6th level spell slot. This is a powerful effect, and this is what high level D&D does, right? It basically makes the trivialities of like normal mortals go out the window. So like, oh god, we have to walk really slow across the ice. No, we just turn into clouds and fly wherever we want to go. You know, Marius doesn't touch the ground. Why should we?
I give him a bottle of holy water. I don't know if he has it. It's one of the required spell components.
Oh, I actually probably don't. Thank you for catching that.
Yep.
So it requires fire and holy water. Interesting. Wait a minute. Zeke has no holy water?
He's not a cleric
He's not a
anymore.
cleric.
I haven't had holy water. I
But-
still have that demon nicker. I don't have holy water.
So wait, I just figured as a cleric you probably carried around holy water as part of like your kit, no?
It takes a lot of silver. I had
That's true.
some, but then I think we used it at that shrine in
That's
the
true.
Avernus.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think it,
we had a bunch of
exploded.
holy water. Yes.
It also
Yeah.
technically
Marius-
even though it has a material component of fire and holy water, because there's no gold cost, it can be substituted by any focus really.
Oh, okay.
Only when it
Well, I
when,
gave
when
him a bottle anyway.
that's cool. Yeah, but like normally, right? It's the focus that that replaces any non-gold cost components. So if it said,
Well,
you know,
what
one
is his
gold of
focus
holy water.
as a druid?
I think it's probably going to be his same amulet as a cleric. It's being used like in a different way, but nature magic is still kind of divine, especially the way that he's kind of like rationalizing it.
Does your amulet depict your old god? What does it depict?
Oh, I don't remember. Let me see if I wrote this down. This was a long time ago. I don't remember what it depicts. It was probably the symbol of Eldath, yeah.
Interesting.
Well, she might be kind of mad, but oh well. Yeah, I don't see anywhere that I've written this down because I am a good D&D player.
You could use your staff that you got from
That
Asmodeus.
seems like it's asking for trouble, but
So I have this random chart of like encounters, and every time I roll on it, it's giving me the same result. So now I'm like, wait a minute, that can't be right.
oh yeah, because we on that table for the bag of tricks, it was weirdly consistent towards crab, which I appreciate, but
You can just set the waiting at 1. You don't have to make it.
Yeah, I don't think I set weighting at all
Mm.
on this one. Maybe it's because the weighting is 1 that's the issue.
No, waiting 1 works perfect.
I have them all as weight 1, and I rolled 5 times, and I got the same result 5 times in a row.
What's
Wait.
your
Now I rolled.
command?
Wait, now I set all the weight to 0, and I rolled, and it just gave me a 0. What the hell? I don't know. I'll have to check the command. Okay, now it's working. I think I just got, honestly, because I put it back to the way it was, I think I just got the same result 5 times in a row. The chart's only 4 things, so 5 in a row is low, but it's not crazy low. But the other thing is I generate these random encounters, but like, you guys are going to fly right past them anyways. So how does this go, Zeke? Do you propose to the rest of the group flying? And how does that end up working?
especially as Marius is handing out the crampons to Morthos and Ava, and Hal and I are kind of like understanding that we aren't affected as much by this slippery stuff because of our connection to nature. Zeke just kind of goes, "Oh yeah, guys, I could just fly. Here, everybody get in a circle. Everyone, come on. Everybody hold hands. It's very important.
Why?
We can fly over this.
Fly how?
As clouds, Ava. I can fly.
We'll
as
just follow the
clouds.
river until we get to the bigger city, and then we'll
Yeah.
be good.
As clouds. It's way faster.
Morthos? Marius?
This does
You
seem
know,
weird.
Yeah, these things have been crazy, but what the hell? Let's do it.
Come on, here. If you want me to, I can prove that this isn't weird. I'll cast it on myself first if that'll make you feel better.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just want to
then-
make sure you're not going to turn us into
Hold on.
crabs.
Hold on. You are aware of how magic like that works, right? Once you cast it on yourself, you use that spell slot, and you don't get that back.
I know, but it's trying to make you all feel better.
Okay, Jordan is asking Tyler.
Oh
Do
yeah,
you have
Tyler does
two level,
understand, yes.
two 6-level spell slots?
Yes, because Zeke wants a win. He wants to be accepted. This is
Okay, I
definitely
understand
a lot,
but
like,
hopefully we don't need that spell slot for something
yeah,
else.
this is if you guys as characters don't feel cool with it to like prove it, which ideally.
Well, Morrison's like, well, you switched out a ticket, saved us 2 days, so what the hell?
That's true.
Yeah, you know what?
Joins the circle.
Yeah, Zeke's on fire right now. I'm feeling like this might be his level of help.
You being a the best son of Asmodeus and just stealing from imps, I guess you did get a win there and saved us some time. So if you want to save us more time, let's see how this works. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, come on, I promise it's way faster.
Well, that is definitely going to be true.
It's roughly 68 miles an hour. I don't know how I know that. I don't know what miles are.
What's a mile or an hour?
What's an hour?
Do they have the concept of hours in this
Yeah,
world?
it's a turn of an
Told
hourglass.
us that it would take hours.
Oh my god, that's so true.
It's an
You're
hourglass.
trying to pull, Steve.
There's got to be clocks and stuff, yeah.
They have sundials. Y'all being a ridiculous. Let's
There's no
just
sun
win that.
here, but yeah.
Well, where we come from, there is. So our characters know what time is.
Yes.
Why is this the hill to die on, Steve? Why here?
No, I had an existential crisis, and I was like, wait, what does time look like in a society where people don't walk around with like wristwatches?
Here's the thing.
It felt like
Here's the thing, Steve. So before wristwatches were designed, you think people didn't understand what time was for the last thousands of years?
No, but like, did they walk around talking about like time passing an hour so casually? Would somebody say, "Hey, I'll be right back in an hour," and leave, or would they be like, "I'll be back when the sun reaches the end of the sunset"?
People didn't talk about hours until the creation of industrialization, like because then we started having work days and work weeks. But that's a whole other conversation. Yes,
but
they
that
did
exists
understand
in this
concept of
realm,
times.
right? Like the world's
Yes.
industrialized and stuff. Yeah,
So they know what hours are, Steve.
they do.
What
Yeah.
point are you trying to make?
But
Oh,
hey,
there's no
I'm
point. It was
thinking-
just funny.
let's blow your existential mind again and just remind you that time is a construct created by human beings, and it's so inaccurate that every 4 years we have an extra day for some reason.
That is
Time is
true.
a contract created by devils.
Even the Forgotten Realms has a leap year.
oh my god.
More proof.
They add one extra day to the calendar every 4 years, and it's a party. That's the way to do it.
And if someone's born on that day, they only have a birthday every 4 years, and they age much slower than everybody else.
They also just have a better calendar than us. Their calendar just makes more sense than our stupid calendar. Because every month has three
It's not that
10-day weeks. And then when you have like extra days, instead of like adding like extra days to some month, you just make that day its own like holiday that's not actually tied to a month. It's just between the months. That makes more sense to me.
Cool, actually.
And, like,
more holidays.
You have like the midsummer holiday, and what day is today? Well, it's not just like, oh, it's December 25th and Christmas. Like, no, it's freaking midwinter. It's a day of celebration. Like, it's not even like, you know how we have like days, and it would like you'd have like Christmas on a Thursday. Like, no, it's like not even a day of the week, right? The week ends, and the next week before the next week starts, there's just a day of celebration that's thrown in there, and then you go back to like Sunday. I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
Steve desperately trying to find anything else to talk about than how fast we're going to ruin this battle map.
So
He's like, I'm so glad I created all of these charts and rollable macros. And
no,
all
no,
these things.
it's fine. It's fine. Totally fine.
No, he did say he didn't spend any time today on it, so there you go. Now you don't have to
No,
worry.
I spent so many hours doing all of this like a month ago or longer. That's the thing. I didn't do any prep today because I had done so much prep ahead of time.
Well, then I'm helping
Yeah.
you out.
Yeah, can you imagine doing 8 hours of prep today and we just blow right by it?
Well, here's what I said coming in. I was like, okay, I got all these like stuff prepped. I don't have like there's all this stuff I need to flesh out, but I'll see maybe which direction they start going, and then next time I'll be more fleshed out the areas that they're likely to go to. And then you guys just said, I'm just gonna windwalk and go wherever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want, and that's awesome. That's
You know I can do it again now.
Solid.
This is
So
so funny. I'm definitely preparing this forever.
so windwalk. What does it look like?
So So yeah, everyone is basically in a circle holding hands as Zeke just kind of has his head down, not saying anything for 60 seconds. And then at that point, one by one, around the circle, starting with Zeke, everyone kind of just like starts dissipating into wind over the course of a few seconds. And they look not necessarily as translucent or like, I guess, clear as wind normally does.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like slightly tinted based on like their clothing. It's like Zeke is very like pinkish, salmon, maybe red colored because of the shell. Marius is probably shining a little bit. Abba isn't breathing, stuff like that.
The usual.
Morthos is just some floating, like tiny little floating antlers.
Okay. And so you just become these puffs of wind that can no longer talk, right?
Right. It says nothing about being able to talk, so I don't think we'd be able to.
Yeah. What does it say? You become like gusts of wind, or what's it specifically say?
A gaseous form for the duration, appearing as wisps of cloud.
I guess because you're a wisp of cloud, you don't have lungs or mouths or ability to talk. So now you guys are all gusts of wind.
We can't get cold.
And like, what's the plan? Like, where are you guys going? You guys have a ton of speed, so for every hour you can move 8 hexes. So where are you guys heading?
I'm gonna kind of like fly down up and down towards the river Styx and try to get us to follow it.
Yeah, we said we were going to follow the river Styx until we come to a bigger city.
Okay.
Right. So that's where we go.
I think you guys have control over this. Let me just double check. Can you guys click this token? Your 5?
Yeah.
You guys can click it. So yeah. So why don't you go ahead and just move yourself down, and we'll count. For every 8 hexes you go to, we will track like what's going on. So.
Clown.
So first hour. First hour, someone take the lead and move your token across Stygia.
I cast the spell. I'll do it. So we got 1.
Okay, so that's 8 miles.
2.
16 miles.
3.
24 miles.
4.
32 miles.
5.
50. 40. Yeah, sorry, I lost count. I was too busy. I literally, my thought process went somewhere else, and I said, "Oh God, I forgot what number I said."
40/5.
40.
6.
48.
Let's go to the right this time. 7.
56. So you see for the first time something other than just like the black sort of river Styx cutting through the middle of the thing, and there seems to be, at least just south of you, some sort of tower, some sort of structure rising. It's just right in the middle of the river Styx.
Okay, I guess this is probably it.
And I think right around this time, like floating like through the like ice chunks below you, there is a giant kind of like iceberg that it's, I guess maybe an iceberg's not right, but it's like set probably a good 10 feet above the river Styx, and it's just this weird sort of round, very clear cut out section of ice, and in the middle of it like juts up. It looks slightly like the one you saw, Ava, in the gift shop, but definitely not to the same scale that you would expect that thing to be. But it's this floating iceberg that looks like a pillar that is just floating in the water beneath you guys. But so that's right below you in the river Styx, and south of you is this structure. What would you guys like to do? I mean, you can't talk to each other about it like in character, but as players, you guys can talk about it.
I assume we would probably try to land like next to the structure, like the city thing.
Okay.
So move the last portion there.
So now I think that's 56.
Yeah, that's exactly an hour, which is really funny.
I thought we had 64 miles per hour. Is it 56 roughly?
We had 68, I think.
68.
Yeah.
So you could probably move one more, right?
Yeah, so I guess...
so you move there, right? And so what you see below you seems to be... it's not a city per se, but like what it looks like is a coliseum. So it's this weird, right in the middle of the river Styx, there's this chunk of ice that seems to stay here. and this structure seems to be built almost like a Colosseum type bowl with like a battle arena right in the center, and all these like seats around the outside, but it's completely empty right now.
Does this fit the description of Tantalon? That
No, there's a city.
Okay, so this isn't like a city-like thing. This is an attraction.
Right. This does not appear to be a city. This appears to be more of like an attraction. Like it's empty right now, but it's a Colosseum. But there's no signs that it would possibly be a city. Now, if you want to stop and poke, because you're just flying past it at like 600 miles per hour or whatever, 60 miles per hour, like zoom. I'm assuming you guys slow down to take a peek if you want, and you could burn some time poking around and looking at it.
We're literally just following Zeke as clouds.
Yep. So, what would you guys would you want to like go check it out, or you just want to keep flying?
But it doesn't seem like it's bustling right now. I'd like to at least like look for the city before we like go on a, because we can cover most of the plane in one casting of the spell. Honestly,
I mean, you probably could just start like probably, right?
So
there's a whole empty map, and you are currently revealing a bunch of it right now. So that's kind of cool.
I think let's just go to the city first, and then if we want to do a scouting mission, then we can do that from there.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so you got one more hex to move. Everyone looks down and sees that this doesn't appear to be the city you're looking for.
Let's go diagonal again. Oh.
So you go down diagonal, and you see like the water kind of like meets the river Styx meets like the edge, and you can see like where the river Styx ends. There seems to be like little smaller like jets of water, like the little eddies kind of come out of it and start breaking through the ice. But for the first time, you see a large city carved, almost, it looks like carved out of the ice, that rises really high, like way higher than the Colosseum you just saw. And in the center is a large tower that reaches hundreds of feet in the air. And as you're floating over the top, you can see, looking down, the city looks like it's built in like a perfect circle. And the way the structure seems to be is like the outside ring seems to be like flush with the ground, and then it like rises up a bit towards the center, and then rises up a bit towards the center again, and then in the very center the tower rises to the top. So it seems to be like a multi-tiered sort of city. And yeah, lots of like, you see people like devils flying in and out, a lot of people like mostly fiends, but even the occasional like humanoid walking around. This definitely appears to like it could be a large city of some sort.
Okay, I mean, I'm going to assume that this is what we were looking for, and kind of go down to the like the ground level of the entrance of the city, and as much as a cloud can, like motion them to keep following me.
Okay. So you go down to the outside of the city, like right. The ice kind of ends, and like you can see, it's like it goes from like wild ice to like carved sort of civilization. And absolutely, the first thing you see on the outside of this is almost like a bazaar feel that feels like Mahadi's Wandering Emporium, where people have like booths and stalls set up. There's little shops kind of carved into this sort of ring. The whole city itself is probably 4 miles across, and so you guys are going to the outer ring of that 4 miles across. That would be the entrance to the city, right? You enter from the outer ring and got to make your way up. But yeah, like you're looking specifically for like a town called like the Red Kite, or a shop called the Red Kite. It's not right where you guys are, right? But you've made it to some city of some sort.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to land and revert back to my normal crab form, which is a minute-long painful transformation.
Okay, so you watch
We'll do
this.
it too.
Yeah, so everyone starts reverting. Okay, I didn't know if you guys are going to peek around more, because you got the wind form for 7 more hours, right?
I mean, we can go back into clouds. I don't
Yeah,
have to cast a spell again.
as long as.
Oh,
yeah.
wait, that's a good question, right?
It's not even
So,
concentration.
God.
We can just go back whenever we want.
that's interesting. I hadn't really processed that part of it. Let me see.
Wow.
Because it's not concentration, you're right. It is not concentration, so you can't lose it.
And it says, until the spell ends, a creature can revert to cloud form, which also requires the minute-long transformation. So that means that we
Don't
can go
actually
back
take
into
a-
cloud form.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, it's very clear. It just like flew over my head that it wasn't just a one-time use thing. Like it's 8 hours. That's okay. That's cool. So you broke my brain.
It's pretty powerful.
That's very powerful. Okay, so yeah, so you spend a minute transferring back to your humanoid bodies, and you're standing just at the edge of the city. And here you see like there's a lot of imps. There's a lot. Let me just look up something real quick.
Go to the rest of the party. See, I told you guys, it's great, isn't it?
That was
I'm a
fun.
little nauseous.
Yeah,
That would have saved you guys a lot of hassle in Avernus.
No, but in Avernus, it doesn't matter how fast we're going. Travel is weird on that plane.
That's true. But at least
Which is
if you
really
had,
funny.
if
This
you were forced
specific plane-
to march across the surface and get exhausted, that would be at least an alternative to war machines, I suppose, right?
That's fair. It's funny that you made this specific map, which gives me a lot more faith to do something like this.
Yeah, no,
It's not
I mean,
gonna change.
that's cool because that's what the lair's all about, and like having these, like you guys are like freaking legendary heroes. You guys should be able to like do stuff like this. It's just I didn't realize that you had this. I would have designed this level of hell much differently if I had known you guys could just skirt around whenever you wanted, right? I would have spent less time creating a hex crawl and more time on like locations, you know what I mean? So that's my bad. So here in like the outer edge of this city, there are a lot of like imps, spine devils, bearded devils, barbed devils, all like running shops, walking around, doing business. They don't seem to really pay you guys too much mind as you kind of approach the edge of the city. There's no armed guard that you can see. There's no like sign outside that says like welcome to Tantalin or anything like that. So you're not 100% sure you're in the right place, but you definitely feel like this has a promising sort of lead to it. So who's taking the lead? What do you guys like to do?
I think Hal and I will be up front, making our way looking for the Red Kite supply store, and
Making my way downtown.
I was
Exactly.
thinking that was going in my head.
anytime anybody says it, it happens to me too, even when I say it.
Yeah.
I spent
So
the summer selling fireworks in a stand. That was on the radio all day.
yeah, so like for the scale of the city, right? The whole city is probably about like 6 miles across, like because it's made like a circular, so it's like a 6 mile diameter. And this outer ring you guys were on seems to be probably about like a 1/4 mile to a 1/2 mile thick, and it goes like around the whole outside. So are you guys just going to like walk looking for the Red Kite? Do you guys want to ask? Do you guys want to like
Let's ask.
talk?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna ask. We gotta
the
see if we're
merchant-
even at the right city. I mean, we want to be at the right city.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So who's doing the talking?
Someone that speaks infernal.
Oh, that's true.
I was gonna say the leader.
I cannot speak.
Is it just you and me,
Infernal.
Hal?
Also Morthos.
Yeah, I can speak.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Morthos is good at asking for directions.
Yeah.
So-
Man, I don't ask for directions.
You're in hell, and everyone's like, "Oh, we need to ask for directions," and everyone looks at the tiefling, which is very like stereotypical.
Wow. Good job, team.
Wow. All right. So is there anybody around me?
Yeah, so there's basically like a spine devil that has like a string, like it's like a cart, and it's like strung across, and there seems to be like a bunch of fish, sort of like speared here on a line, and he seems to be selling some sort of meat. So he's like, "Aye, what you want?"
Hey, what's the name of the city that we're in right here?
Boy, you don't know what city you're in.
Wouldn't be asking if I did.
You buy a fish, I'll tell you.
How much is your fish?
He squints and he like looks you up and down, and he like tries to like eye you and give you like, you know, he's giving you like a once over, and he goes, 1 gold.
Damn.
It's pretty expensive, but I flip him a gold coin.
All right, you flip it to him. He catches it out of the air and he like rubs it and he's like biting on it and he looks like really surprised that and like he reaches up and like not even like detaching it, right? It's just like this line is through the fish and he just rips it down from the thing and it like cracks with like the cold, right? Because this thing is frozen as fish. He breaks it off the line and hands you a frozen fish. This is Tantalin, the biggest city in Stygia.
Tantalin.
What brings you lot here?
Just traveling.
I
So,
kinda,
trying to look at my notes. Is this what we're looking for? Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
what we're looking for,
yeah.
right? Yep, okay.
I'll float over and say supply shop. Red Kite. See if he mentions Red Kite first. If not,
Yeah.
then
So
ask after.
yeah, we're looking for a supply shop called the Red Kite. Can you point me in the right direction?
The Red Kite. Interesting business locale. You know the owner?
I do not.
It's a long way to come just for a supply shop.
Well, we are here, and that's what we're looking for. So can you point me in the right direction?
He's very skeptical of you, and he goes, "You have travel papers."
And,
What's it to you? Hold on. If you look at me for the travel papers, I'll be like, hold on, a fish merchant is asking for our travel papers? Fuck this guy.
Listen, you're here in Tantalin, right? Like this is my turf. You outsiders, you extraplanar creatures, you should be bowing to me right now. The fact that I'm even allowing you to shop at my shop, you should be grateful. Like he's like speaking down to you so hardcore.
All right. Well, I gave you a
gold.
gold.
Nature again.
We're not commune with nature.
Yeah, look for buildings in the area.
It's a ritual cast, right? So it takes like 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you begin like just ritual casting out while this conversation is going on in the background. Okay.
Nature, he's bitching about extraplanar mortals and all this crap.
But yeah, like he seems to be looking down on you guys.
Hey, look, I bought a fish from you. Can you just point us in the right direction? We don't, not looking for any trouble.
You're not looking for any trouble, but you don't have travel papers.
We have travel papers.
Didn't say we didn't.
Hold on.
Didn't say we didn't have travel papers. But
Well, then let me see them.
you don't need to see
No.
them. Who
Well,
are
then-
you to
Are
ask
you
for
a
my
cop?
travel paper?
Are you a cop? I don't have to show you anything. You're a fish merchant. like Morthos, you look at me and you're like, this guy wants to see the travel papers.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not showing him our travel papers.
Absolutely.
It cost us 3 soul coins to get these travel papers. Fuck this guy.
I do find this hilarious. You paid 3 soul coins for travel papers, and then when you are asked to show them, you say, "Screw you! You're not seeing my travel papers."
Well, it's like if you went to Kmart and it was like, okay, where's your passport?
Yeah. I go
No,
into
absolutely.
Kmart,
That's what this feels like.
Yeah. And he's asking for my passport in Kmart. I'm not going to show him my passport.
No, I get that. That's absolutely 100% true. And at the same time, this guy is super like insistent. Like if you guys are not aren't going to show that you have the rights to be here, then he's not even going to he won't help you guys find like the Red Kite. He's just happy that he tricked you guys into buying some fish.
All right. So I look at Marius and said, "This guy wants our travel papers. Let's just move on."
When we were given the travel papers, does it look like a passport? Like, what does it look like?
It's basically the giant stack of travel papers that you filled out were given back to you and like stamped on the front there. So like you have a thick stack and like the top paper is basically like the certificate. And there's a spot for like each of the 9 layers of hell. And this one you've been stamped and your Stygia, like you have rights to Stygia per this travel papers.
I take them out, I show the stamp, and I go, happy, and I put it back in the bag. I'm like, I'm not gonna hand them to you.
Sure, yeah, you just like flash it real quick and show him.
No, I like put them out so he can see it.
Yeah.
And then I put it back in the bag.
You don't hand it over. You just like pull it out and show him.
No, I don't trust.
Got it. No, I get that,
Selling
right?
Gold piece fish over here, frozen fish.
And so as you say that, right, he goes, "Oh, well, let me apologize. I didn't realize you actually had papers to be here." Yeah, right around the corner that way, about 3/4 of a mile to the right. Do you guys know what miles are where you come from? I don't know. 3/4 of a mile around that
do.
way.
We also know what hours are.
You will find the Red Kite.
At this, Zeke's eyes stop flashing. He goes, guys, it's 3/4 of the mile down that way.
Thank you, Zeke.
Yeah, so you find buildings like, yes, Zeke, there are thousands of buildings within 3 miles of you right now.
I did it.
I look at Morthos and I ask.
Oh, powerful
ask him,
fiends, for instance. This thing lights up like so crazy, including you get like the sense that in that tower in the very center is like a very strong like pit fiend that like is ruling from the tower. And it feels like as you reach out for this presence, the center of the city, the center ring, for instance, is lit up with like the most powerful fiends. And the further you go to the outside, the less powerful they seem to become.
Okay, sick, thank you. And then the tower had the biggest one, right? Like
Yeah, at the top of the tower was the biggest ping you got.
I look at. Go ahead, please.
No, that was it. I mean, I don't know. Do you just get? You probably don't like learn like it's like you don't learn the backstories of what you're feeling. You just get the presence of them. So,
right,
yeah.
It's like I don't know it's Dracula. I just know it's undead.
Yeah,
I forget which spell you used at that example, but it's a solid one.
Divine
right.
sense.
Yeah, divine
Thank
sense.
you.
So there's very powerful fiends in the center of the city.
I'm gonna look at Morthos and say, can you please ask the fishmonger if that's how interactions go on the different layers? If we need to show the paperwork every time in order to get anywhere.
Oh
Yeah. So go ahead.
So you want to? Yeah, you relay that question, right? And he's just like, listen. You as extraplanar creatures, you guys have access to the outer ring. You are not allowed to step foot into the inner ring at all. I'm allowed in the inner ring, but I'm only allowed to conduct business here in the outer ring.
Okay.
And so, so the inner ring. So the shop that we're going to is still in the outer ring. It's only.
Yes, it's in the outer ring as well.
Okay. All right.
And that's because he's a creature of this plane, or because he's like a member of the city?
I mean, do you want to ask him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you can speak
yeah.
Infernal.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll just pop over like, hey, I'm the crab whose eyes were glowing a minute ago. Is that because you live here, or is that because you're from the Nine Hells?
It's my place in the hierarchy. We have a hierarchy. We know where we belong and who's below us and who's above us at all time. Like, oh, excuse me 1 second, and he like picks up a rock, and there's an imp walking by, and he throws it, and just like the imp's carrying like a tray of bread biscuits, right? Like just buttered bread eating biscuits, hits the tray, and it flies everywhere. And this guy's just like, yeah, that's what you get. And then he turns back to you and says, yeah, that's just how it works here. You know, we know our place in the hierarchy. One day I'll get my promotion, and I'll move up to the next layer. And if I put in another few hundred years of good work, maybe I'll get promoted to the inner ring. Man's got to have a dream.
Oh, God, I don't want to hear about your dream, sir. But thank you very much for the practical demonstration of how right we were to shit on imps earlier.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, and like,
Hey, so
like
I lifted up the fish. Hey, do you guys? Anybody want this freaking frozen fish?
No.
No.
Yeah.
I'll
So,
eat it.
all right. I throw it over to Zeke. Here you go, Zeke. Have at it.
I try to cut it up with my claws a little bit first and then eat it.
yeah. So as you guys spend some time here, you realize like there's like this hierarchy, and everyone that's higher on the hierarchy just treats everyone below them like terrible. Like they throw stuff at them, they treat them like garbage, and then they cower below the people above them. And like as soon as the people above them are like gone, they just talk smack like, "Oh, I'll teach them a lesson one day." Right? It's like this push and pull of structure, but like there is this hierarchy here that drives these creatures and runs their everyday life that just doesn't make sense or compute to you guys at all. It doesn't make sense, right? Like, why can't I just walk up there? Or why do I get treated bad because I'm lower? But they accept it and they thrive in it, and that's how it works here.
It also kind of connects to Baldur's Gate. I mean, you're not allowed in certain parts of the city unless you're noble or not. So
That's a great parallel to draw.
Yeah, it's actually not that far removed from some of our experiences.
Baldur's Gate had the upper city where only the noble families were allowed to go.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how this is. Only it's not based on like birth. It's based on. I guess it might be more fair here, right? It might be more fair here because it's based on your merit.
This is the real meritocracy. Down here in the Nine Hells, we put in the work, nose to the grindstone. If you refer 2 friends today, you get into the next ring.
And he's eating his frozen fish, and we're just going to the Red Kite.
Right. So
As he's saying that while he's eating.
Going to the Red Lobster.
Yeah. So there are like shops that sell like all sorts of like goods. Like there's weaponsmiths. There's general clothing stores. There's like food shops. Like any sort of like player's handbook level goods you're looking to buy, you could absolutely 100% find here in this like outer ring of the city. And all the structures are carved like out of ice, so it looks like it's basically like chunks of ice, like igloo based architecture, only carved out of like super. It's like they don't just take like stones and stack them. It's carved out of like a singular chunk of ice that have been carved into these like really intricate buildings, and they look super cool. And like just trying to like reverse engineer how they're built seems like a very interesting challenge, right? The city is made out of ice. It almost feels like it was at one point a giant iceberg that reached to the top of the city, and then the city was carved out of this solid piece. So it looks pretty cool. It's just really cold. And yeah, you managed to work through the marketplaces and find the Red Kite, which is a general store. What was it? I forget exactly what I described it in your guys' packet. Let's see. It was
the supply store.
Right, just like a general supply store.
Shop.
Yeah. So as you guys make it to the Red Kite, and you might have to ask for directions a few more and go through the whole like, I'm not showing you my paperwork. Fine, here's my paperwork. But like the interesting thing is like the paperwork. Every time you flash the paperwork, like everyone just like immediately like seems to respect that you have the authority to be here and help you. So there's no like you pulling teeth to get what you want. But as you like approach the shop, which is the Red Kite, you can see that outside of it. So there's like, it's like the shop. It's this like ice building that has a sign that just is carved into it. It just says the Red Kite. And there are very familiar markings here for you, Hal, that mark this as absolutely a location for the Silent Rain, much like the shop, like Queen Rand's shop back in Mahadi's Wandering Emporium. And Ava, you definitely notice also within this markings and the signs, like these marks from the Thieves Guild, that marks this as like a thieves sort of haven, like a contact shop for safe places or jobs and stuff like that. Like you both get different information from the sign, but similar, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And the thing that catches your eye the most is across the front of the sign, just spread out in like red blood, it just says the word traitor, and outside, like basically not quite crucified, but hung from like wires from arm to arm across this thing with wires to his legs that's just splayed here, cut open in front of the Red Kite, is an elven man with reddish hair. And as you see, you've made it to the Red Kite. As you're here looking for your contact, hanging right outside the shop, the word traitor, a dead splayed body, and our break.
Damn.
Damn.
That's right.
Oh my god.
And so that will take us to our break. So we have like a 15-minute-ish break. We'll come back at like 8:30 or so to wrap up the last hour and a half of our thing. Like, I mean, I'll be honest, this is not how I expected this session would be going. Like I had a lot of this
Waiting on this for a week.
Well, no, yeah, I've had a lot of this like oh yeah, I know what the city's all about, all this, but I don't need to know the details yet because it's going to take them forever to get there.
Oh my lord.
It's fun though. So yeah, let's take a break. We'll come back around 8:30, 8:35. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. See you soon.
Sick.
Merchant.
Yeah.
We can offer like cool. We can be like an experience shop. I can turn people into clouds.
Yep. Welcome back to Beyond Avernus. I am DM Steve. I hope you're enjoying so far. Like, this is a good lesson for those DMs out there that are like, I'm going to prepare for what my players might do. Forget it. Either you railroad the crap out of them, or you just roll with it. And here on Beyond Avernus, we roll with it.
I mean, there was that. Steve, I'm so sorry, but there was that amazing moment on Critical Role Runtime where Mercer had like this whole ship combat thing planned, and then Taliesin used Tidal Wave to push a ship onto a shore and destroy it, and they just got away. And Mercer went, no, that's good. And he takes like a bundle of papers with all the ship combat stuff, and he throws it off camera and goes, all right, let's continue with the
He
adventure.
literally gave them ship combat rules.
Yeah. And
that was
never
like being play tested at the time that were going to come out in like Ghost of Saltmarsh. Like all this stuff gave them roles, and then Taliesin just like upended that whole thing, and then they never did ship combat. I don't think
ever.
Yeah, ever. Maybe later, but I don't even think so.
It was much later, but it was like, it was so funny because he just threw the papers off camera. He's like, okay, there goes all my plans.
So, I don't feel like that's why, like, when I do the prep for Stygia, and I have a couple of DM prep streams, I'm assuming you players didn't watch them, but maybe some of our viewers did. And like, I took a very wide focus on prepping things. Like, here's the whole world, here's the landmarks, here's the basic overview of everything, rather than get fixated on the specific details right away, because I figured as you guys got closer to stuff, I could fill in and spend my time fleshing out what you guys were going to actually do, because I didn't know. And so because of that, we are able to roll with these punches rather than have me say, uh-oh, I don't have anything prepped, guys, you can't cast that spell. You know what I mean? Like, my prep worked. That guy is saying it wasn't ship on ship. I believe it was ship on dragon turtle. No, we're going farther back than that. We're talking like pre Dark Toe, right? Is that
yeah? It was when they were
right
still
after Dark Toe. I just finished rewatching that one.
Oh, it was just after Dark Toe.
Yeah, they were going to get some repairs at some place, and then they were leaving from that place to go back to the port or whatever.
And they got ambushed.
Came out. Yep.
Yeah, and I don't remember if was it just control water that he was doing.
It was just control water.
I feel like Matt was a little. He's always a little, like letting his players get away with a little more than I probably would have. Because control water is what it's a 4th level spell. That's higher than I thought. Okay.
It does a 20-foot tall wave, which is pretty big.
Yeah, no, that's right. I was thinking I think it's like shape water is the low level one, or the cantrip, right?
Right. And he gave he gave the ship a save, but whoever was captaining the ship rolled a natural 1 or something,
because,
and he was like, oh, there you go.
Yeah, so the flood says any huge or smaller vehicle struck by the wave have a 25% chance of capsizing. I think he stuck with that.
Mm-hmm.
But like
he rolled it.
I feel like the ship probably was bigger than huge, though.
I don't know. Those old ships aren't that big.
Let's see, because I know like if you like look at vehicles, let me look. So in vehicles they have ships, right? So if I look at like a sailing ship stats, they are gargantuan.
Mm.
And if we look at like warships, they are gargantuan. And if we look at keel boats, they are gargantuan. And if we look at long ships, you guessed it, gargantuan.
Gargantuan.
And maybe the rowboat is large, so you could capsize a rowboat.
Definitely not a ship.
But in the moment, it still makes for a cool thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like that's where we are in our thing. Like, I'm just going to windwalk. Like, you know what? Why wouldn't I have expected that? You know what I mean? Like,
because you didn't watch the first season of Critical Role.
I did not watch the first campaign of Critical Role. Yeah, and that guy
all they used to get around.
Was it Windwalk? I know I heard they use like the tree stride stuff, right?
Yep.
That's pretty intense.
So they use Windwalk all the time to go up mountains and stuff.
Yeah. That guy was clarifying in chat. He was saying they used the ship combat against the dragon turtle, which was true.
That's
I don't remember if I
you're
saw
totally right.
ship
Yeah.
on ship combat, right? They might not have ever done that.
Shit on shit.
And similarly, because I have a Ghost of Saltmarsh campaign that we were playing in person that is all on hold because of COVID. Like, we already kind of ended it at the end of the year, but we haven't got to get back to it in like a year now. It's been like, I think it's literally been a year since we played in it, which is sad to think about. And I tried to set up a ship-on-ship combat, and what did my players do? They did everything they could to avoid the ship-on-ship combat. Because players are nothing if not really handy at trying to avoid combat. I think they used, like, fog cloud on, like, a rock, and, like, cast the fog cloud, which you guys are all about fog cloud, and got really close and tried to, like, basically skirt as close as they could to the rock, and then, like, do, like, a hard turn as much as they could to like lose the thing that was following them. And I told them they had to make like a ship handling check that was like super hard, and the captain got a natural 20. So it was this really awesome moment where they, the other ship crashed and they didn't. And it's one of those moments where it's like, yeah, well, we didn't get to do what I planned, but you know what? We're not talking about a year later, that very normal ship-to-ship combat we had. You know what we are talking about a year later? That natural 20 that avoided the combat. So
Exactly.
when things go according to plan, nobody remembers.
Like when the the druid was like, "I'm gonna sleight of hand take these papers," and rolls a natural 20.
Yeah, that's right up there with that.
Right.
Sneeze up a fog cloud.
Yeah.
I love that I did it almost before you could even object, because I knew this was an awful idea, but it's fun because they're just imps and like, what are they gonna do?
I totally knew you guys would probably try to steal somebody's ticket, but I didn't expect it to go down in the manner that it went down.
I was just reminiscing on the fact that like Zeke is aware that they have someone in the party who's good at something like that, and it's like, "No, I'll do it. I'll handle it. Don't worry, guys. You just hang out over there."
Pretty much anyone but him, in fact, is better suited.
Well,
Yeah.
Except for me, I'm kind of hard to miss. I'm not exactly the stealth.
I'm
type.
also a crab. Neither of us should have done that.
And yet we did, and it's awesome. Welcome back to Avernus. So yeah, our alleged 5 have managed to find the Red Kite in mere hours from arriving on Stygia, and not, days. But you found it, and your contact seems to be strung up, spliced open, gutted, with the word traitor written across the building. Ooh, you guys, there's like a pause as the camera kind of fades in, and you guys look at each other like, yeah, what next?
Is that him, or is that a different person?
And then
Is the door closed to the inside?
No. I mean, it's closed, but it doesn't seem like barred shut or anything.
I'm gonna go in there.
Okay.
I was gonna look around and ask, is anyone good with medicine?
Oh, actually, yeah. I'd like to go investigate the corpse and/or help the person.
Do you know how long the corpse is in there, or like how long he's been a corpse?
Would that be just like a medicine check, or is it so obvious that it's been like a few days?
Give me a medicine check.
All right. This is what I'll roll a 2 on.
Whoa, Zeke is on fire on this.
So
19,
just
20, 19.
yeah, recapping, you've rolled 3 times tonight. Your rolls have been 19, 20, and 19.
Don't let me roll again tonight. It's not going to work.
Zeke, give me a religion check.
Oh no, I'm bad at that now.
That will be a-
This is
that will be a
not.
1.
This has nothing to do with the game. I just want to see you roll low.
Oh my god.
That's still got a
Something's
16.
wrong. Something's wrong.
No,
Roll the
as
knowledge.
soon as we get into combat, he'll be rolling 1s.
Thank
Okay.
your friend for me, Mike. I really appreciate it.
So this
Oh,
body.
this is your level, Zeke.
This body looks to be the person was strung up, and they were stripped bare of all their warm weather clothing, and they were basically sliced from like neck to navel, but not in a way, not enough to like spill everything out, just enough to like make it like that much more painful. But it was expertly done in a way to keep them alive, and then they were strung up here where they proceeded to like freeze to death in excruciatingly cold pain while their blood had nowhere to go because as soon as the blood came out, it instantly froze over and backed up. And so this person died a horrible, painful death, and he was killed in a way that is very reminiscent. It's a common sort of sacrificial method employed by people who are followers of Levistus.
Okay.
To sacrifice someone by exposing them to like the cold is something that you might associate with like Levistus, who is, the lord of this layer of hell.
Okay. Levistus, how do you spell that real quick?
I'll put it in chat.
Thank you. Oh, Levistus. Okay.
And as far as how long this person's been here, it's almost impossible to tell because of the fact that he's completely frozen and not decayed or thawed at all. Like it looks like he is as fresh as he would have been. It could be anywhere between like the last hour or like the last month, and he wouldn't have decomposed any more than he has so far.
Okay,
With the 29, you get the impression maybe he's been here a little longer than like, it's probably weeks now.
Okay. I'll
because you rolled amazingly freaking high. I'll give you that.
I'll give the general gist of it to Ava. I'm not gonna linger on the exact gruesomeness of it, but just it's probably been at least a few days, closer to a few weeks, because it's so cold.
And yeah.
Do you? How high is it from where we're standing?
He's probably hanging a good like 6, like the bottom of his feet are probably at about 6 foot or so.
I can give you a boost if you need to get up there for something.
Husband 1, can you carry me so I'm closer?
Of course. I pick her up how she's comfortable being picked up, and I get to the height where she wants to be.
I'm assuming that is on the shoulders. I'm just kidding.
No.
Bridal style's fine.
All right, I'll pick her up and raise as high as she wants to get.
She's going to try to cast Speak with the Dead.
Oh. Very good. Okay. So you go up to the corpse, right? And you cast like Speak with Dead and kind of give it like a nice... Well, actually, you explain to me, what does Speak with Dead look like in this case?
It's just her muttering under her breath that she does the usual hand motions, and the holy symbol of Torm that's strung around her neck that used to belong to Thavius Krieg sort of glows, and the magic sort of tries to reach out.
Nice callback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so like you watch as like this creature that's strung up here, like the fingers begin to like move a little bit. The whole thing begins shaking, like moving its head, and like as it does, there's like the loud cracking as the ice like breaks, like, and it looks like at you, and it looks like it's trying to like move its mouth to speak, but like it's so like frozen over that it looks like it's very hard for it to move its mouth. Like you might need to assist it by like warming up its face a bit.
Looks at Marius and Zeke and Morthos and's like, "Can you get a little help for him, please?"
I'm checking real quick. I don't think I can help. I mean, if frostbite is warmer than the outside, then I can warm him up technically, but not like significantly.
I just I asked someone to light a torch and just bring it near his face, or hand it to Ava so she can hold it near his face.
Who the hell has a torch? We can all see in the dark.
I have a torch in my bag. Just reach into my bag. There's a
All right, I grab it and light it and hand it to Ava.
I have pythons even though I don't need to climb anywhere.
Yeah, It's no issue. Like you get the torch lit, and then as you bring the torch like close to him, you can watch as the ice begins to like drip and thaw, and his mouth begins to like be able to move a little bit as he kind of like just lets out like a low raspy sort of like, and his eyes are like looking through you more than at you, but he does come to life, and you're able to speak your, what do you get, 3 questions?
I
Five.
get 5.
5. So while this is going on, right, Hal has gone to the door of the shop, right? And so you guys are coming up here doing this. Hal, you open the front door to the shop. It's not locked at all. It almost looks like there is like no locking mechanism whatsoever. And as you push it open, you can see the remnants of what looks to be like a shop, but all that's here is like bare shelves and like countertops and stuff. Like it seems like whoever did this to him proceeded to like clean out his entire shop and take like all his inventory and merchandise, and all that's left is like an empty shop here carved out of the ice.
I would like to search around for common secret locations of information.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you give me like an investigation check for that? Which I know Hal's specialty, but you know you have the D4 for investigation, don't you?
No.
No, okay. Never mind. The DC is going to be fairly low. I'm going to set the DC to find like the hidden stuff here. Let's just set it at 10. Because the DC's low. Oh, jeez. Another 19.
Everybody.
I would say the DC's lower because you know the hidden areas. So yeah, so you begin searching for like common places that you would know, markings that like leads you to things, and absolutely like in like the back storeroom, as you go back there, you're able to find a sort of empty, I guess it's a cross between like a bookshelf and like a storage shelf, but nothing's on it, so it's hard to call it a bookshelf. But the bottom panel of the whole thing has like a secret latch that you know exactly where to like pry it loose, and it has like a false bottom on this bookshelf. And as you like pry it open, you do find like a small bundle of paperwork.
I want to quickly go through it, like leaf through the first few pages.
Yeah, it only looks like it's probably like 3 or 4 pages, like it were kind of rolled up in like a scroll sort of format. So you unravel it and look through it. It looks to be some sort of like message that was intended for you. And so like
Okay.
basically it says like that what's this guy has a name. Let me just double check what his name was.
Thought it was red.
I mean, he's definitely red. Give
Big
yeah, I guess he just didn't have. I never told you a name. So, anyways, it's like it's a letter from Red with 2 D's, so REDD, and he just basically leaves a note that says like, if you're finding this note, it means my cover has been blown, and I'm likely already perished. I had struck a deal with the Lord of this city to grant you access to his portal, which lies at the base of his tower, which should allow you access to the next lair, which I think is Malbolge. However, I've made some other deals that might come back to bite me. I guess good luck, Red.
All right. Okay, so once I get it all stuff back in and head up to the group, and I see them like doing gymnastics out front.
Yeah. At least the information you get looking at the letter and stuff, right, is literally that there is a portal that leads to the next lair at the very bottom of the tower in the center of this city, right? That's at least information he left you. As far as how to get access to it, he didn't really have any advice for you there. So
Well, we got to make a deal with the devil, just like everything else.
And I'll walk back out, and I say,
Yep.
okay, Got the information. Let's go. And then I'll look at them doing their gymnastics.
You see Marius holding Ava, who is like holding a torch to the face of this corpse thing, a string out here, and like as you come out and you're doing this, like all the eyes in this courtyard and like all the like bizarre, like everyone's kind of like watching this unfold, like very like intrigued at the whole situation. So,
All right, Hal.
Any more
And
questions?
also the rest of the gang. So basically, we have 5 questions to ask this nice elf man. What do we want to ask?
Probably where the portal is.
No, how to get to the portal
Yeah, how
safely.
No,
Like
I
we know
know.
it's at the bottom.
But I know, but Zeke doesn't know that. I'm assuming Hal hasn't like shared that yet.
No, I wouldn't have shared that in the middle of the city out front with the dead man, as my companions are like being
Fucking
lifted.
around?
Also, do you want some like cloud cover while we do this? By the way.
Well, we have 10 minutes, so if we want to confer really quick.
Okay. Fog cloud.
all right, you put out the fog cloud, which obscures the vision of what's going on, but not the sound.
All right, what do we want to ask?
I don't know.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
No, that would be too jerky. But that was you asked a question.
Oh my god.
Okay, Hal, did you find anything inside?
Yeah, we got to go to that tower. And I point.
Okay. Do we want to
Alright.
ask who killed him?
Well, we might want to ask how to get in that tower because we were told we're not allowed.
Oh, that's true. We can't go inside in the inner ring. But would he know that? Well, he would have. Yeah, he had information for us. He probably would know that.
Probably knows how to get in there.
Yeah.
So maybe just all the questions should be about how to get there safely, how to do so, you know, without pissing off the entire city.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
Oh, all the talking's gonna go to me, isn't it?
I mean, I don't think he's responding to us.
Yeah, you cast a spell, so he's only gonna
All right,
respond to you.
back up.
I like how like Brownie, you're like, I'm gonna cast a spell to talk to dead, and I'm like, okay, and you're like, oh god, now what? I didn't think it was that far ahead.
Do you think I think about the actions I'm about to do before I actually perform them?
No.
All right. I was gonna ask Marius to bring her back up.
I go up.
All right, red-haired elf man. How do we get to the tower? Also, we're friends with Hal.
No, is that that's interesting? Like, because you asked a question, then you added like a qualifier at the end, but that wasn't part of the question. Does he like?
How do we, the friends of Hal, get to the English class?
He like looks right back at you, right, and like he's like he's like speaking, and even as he speaks, like he like all the cold is like dripping off of him right from your torch, and it makes it kind of hard to understand him. But he says like, you must earn the favor of Mitanu.
All right, how do we earn the favor of Matanu?
You must make Mitanu like you.
Ava looks back at Marius like,
No, that was a bullshit. That was a bullshit answer for sure. That was just you basically answered the same thing twice. I'm right there with you.
I mean, the text of the spell says the answers are fairly. It says, what was the answers are usually brief, cryptic, or repetitive. So you're definitely getting the repetitive end of the stick.
Ava's gonna lean over to Marius and like whisper so quietly, so
He's leaning in to
Red
listen to the
cannot-
question. No, you can't.
So, should I ask for specifics?
Ask him if there's anything that he knows of that would get us in Matanu's favor. Any task we can do, any person that we should take down, anything specific.
Do you have any specific, or are there any specific things we can do to earn his favor?
Hang on, I'm consulting my notes real quick.
What if Matane was just that weird fish salesman and not like the Lord of the Tower? For some reason, the fish salesman was our in.
We fucked it up by yelling at him for asking for asking for papers.
We didn't buy enough fish.
Mitanu seeks to free his master. Help him free his master.
We should ask for the name of Matanu's master, right?
Maybe we should ask where Matano is.
Where specifically is Matanu?
Isn't that the head honcho at the center of the city?
Mitanu lives in the tower in the center of the city.
Yeah.
He rules this settlement.
Mm-hmm.
One more question.
Do we know who his master is yet?
Here's right, before anyone Abba, before you say the next question, like we can't even get in there. We can't even go that far in there to talk to him. So like, is there an inn? Is there a way that will allow us to even get an audience with him?
Should that be our last question?
I like in the fog cloud turn around to like look down at the group that's kind of assembled below us, and I kind of get back close down to the ground so we can whisper.
I think that's a harder question to answer than like who his master is. So I think that's better to ask here.
Yeah, but we could ask.
Once we get an audience with him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I think your question is a better one to ask than who is your master,
Okay.
because that's probably easier to figure out later.
I mean, we might be able to ask like someone here in the city that question because they might know who Matano
Yeah,
serves.
we're like, oh, Matanu, Lord of Two Masters. Like, oh, thanks.
All right.
Kuna Matana.
Except Kumba.
The question is, how do we get an audience with Matanu specifically?
He just
Right.
like...
No, I'm asking.
That's not
for
the question. Got it, yeah.
I was looking at everyone expectantly. Not that anyone would see her because fog cloud. Very Cal.
That sounds... I think either that or asking how to get into the tower. Well, we already asked how to get...
We're in favor of Matanu.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there's always the other way to get access to the tower, which is just, walk there and kill anything that tries to stop you, which...
Yeah. Or turn into a cloud and just float up there.
And then kill anything that tries to stop us there.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's a good idea, Morthos. Maybe we can just fly up over there. And...
Question.
I think that the audience question is a good one.
Yeah, I do too.
All right.
That makes it sound like it's formal and not violent.
Ava and Marius are gonna head up back there, and Ava will ask,
Mhm.
how specifically do we get an audience with Matanu?
You fly back up and you gotta wait a minute as you like use the torch to like refreeze the bit of him that have like started to refreeze back over, and it begins like thawing a little bit as he tries to answer you. But the question was, how do you get audience with Matanu?
Mm-hmm.
Do something great or do something terrible. I did the latter. And then his head like slumps over.
Well, Matano was probably the one who did this to him. Probably referencing how he died.
All right. Well, I feel like it's a start.
I think we learned a lot. Because if Matanu, the way that this elf was killed was like a sacrifice to Levistus. It's very like slow and painful. So if Matanu wants Levistus to like him, anything we do that helps Levistus could help us get his favor. Which also implies that Levistus might be imprisoned in some way right now.
Marius is just flabbergasted that this druid has all this information about Levistus. Like, hold on. Is Levistus a god? What are you talking about?
He's the Lord of Stygia.
Right. Is he imprisoned somewhere? Is that the one we need to help rescue?
Well, that's the assumption I'm making, because the corpse said Matanu seeks to free his master, help him free his master.
Mm-hmm.
And then the corpse said that Matanu implied that Matanu was the one, or at least the one responsible for killing him.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that this elf was killed was consistent with a sacrifice to something else. So that seems to connect that this sacrifice was to something that Matanu appreciates or worships in some way.
Right. Yeah, see, I got all of that. I'm just wondering how you came up with that information, because you never seem to know anything about religion.
This isn't religion. These are like real creatures.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna write Zeke.
That's such an odd thing to say. I mean, you've literally met like a god. And there's... But yeah, I get you. It's like, this is real. This isn't religion, says the cleric with divine intervention.
Who's now a crab. Like,
Okay.
all this other magical stuff is fine. But
Meta-
no, religion?
Met an emissary from his god, decides to stop worshiping said god.
Yep. So, I mean, you get your answers out of the corpse of Red, and you're sitting here in the outer ring of Tantalin. Your eyes, well, I mean, I guess you can't see because of the fog cloud, but like your eyes would look at the giant like city that builds up towards the center, like literal like tiers of society here, with the giant tower like ruling over all. And you know that like at the base of this tower, at the very bottom of it, is a portal that leads you where you want to go. And yet your one lead to get there seems to be, I guess, missing. So you guys tell me, what is your guys' next move?
All right.
I mean-
so... Sorry, go ahead, Hal.
Wind, fly back in to the tower.
It's probably
Steve.
heavily guarded.
Would I know who Garion is, or Jarian, or whatever you call them?
You can make a probably a history check, or cash in one of your lore points that you've earned back in Candle Cube if it's something you definitely want to know. You guys each, you and Ava both earned like how many?
I've earned
I
two.
got
I think
three.
Hal earned 3.
Okay, so you can either make a roll to know this, or you can say I'm cashing in one of my like knowledge points and make that one of the things you actually know.
You said knowledge check.
It'd be a history, yeah. Because it's not investigating anymore. We're now in the era of like recalling information that you've learned previously. I don't know what's Hal's history like.
Not very good, but I found it funny. You said knowledge, like Pathfinder knowledge.
Oh, did I say knowledge? Ooh.
Yeah.
God, I'm very contaminated. Recall knowledge. Go.
There it is. All right, so I can get advantage on the roll. I will not cast in. I will not make a token.
Okay. Hmm, 17, reasonable.
Not bad.
And you were asking specifically about Garyon?
Yep.
Okay.
I was with a -2.
Another high roll, like 19. Man, you guys like look like your previous roll was an 18 and this was a 19. So like you guys have just consistently rolled amazing. This should all be in combat. Okay. So
Except for me. I rolled like crap.
you should use the digital dice. They're blessed.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what you know about Garyon. Stygia was under 12. Under contested rulership once upon a time. And the leader of Stygia was a very conniving, very cunning devil named Garyon, who basically was never happy with his station in life and always trying to scheme higher and always had ambitions to move on up. Like every devil you basically know. But he was really good at it. So he rose to become the leader of Stygia. And he became like so invested in like moving up the hierarchy that he began neglecting his duties as the ruler of this lair, which allowed for somebody, namely Asmodeus, to come in and displace him. So Garyon was actually frozen into a complete like solid piece of ice and then shattered and scattered these pieces of dark shards of ice all over the lair. And these ice things basically led the way for a new ruler to become the leader of Stygia by the name of Levistus. So Garyon was the previous ruler of the lair, similar to the way Bel was the leader before Zariel came along and supplanted him. It seems that wasn't the only lair where there's a lot of jockeying for position, so to speak. And so the one thing absolutely is that Levistus is completely scared to death that, you know, Garyon will rise back to power to challenge him. So that is why going back to like your paperwork that you filed, like basically worship or alliance with him is kind of looked as almost illegal in a way. Not illegal. It's not fully illegal, but they are very like cautious of it, I guess. So Garyon was the previous leader of Stygia, turned into ice, shattered into thousands of pieces, and now is like obviously the rumor is that they're not completely dead and they could be reformed and come back for the power that is theirs. But that's what you know. That's at least what you learned in your books at Candlekeep.
All right.
Go ahead, Ray.
Well, this might have been sacrificed to Levistus, but I'm not sure if that's what Red was talking about. But we definitely need to go get at least towards the tower, into the tower. Maybe we can loan ourselves out as mercenaries to help
That was the artwork that you found for a replica of what Garion would look like, based on what the Candlekeep library had to say.
Garion.
Awesome. I mean, but it still leads to the tower. We should head that way.
Well, the question is, how do we even get into the tower? Because that's, from what we've been told, it's kind of off limits.
Yeah, we go over there and we ask to go in, and if they say no, we say why, and they say you need to be, like you said, Marius, a royal of the city, and I kind of roll my eyes.
You have to be a card holder. You have to buy the membership.
I definitely think at least scoping the tower out as clouds, there's not really anything that they're going to do to us. Because we're not in the
hold on.
tower.
Hold on. I just want to remind you, Zeke, that while under this effect, the way you described it, we can still be attacked. We can still be targeted.
Yeah.
Someone can just point at us and do dispel magic like Yonogu did on Hal. And then we revert back to our human forms and just fall to the ground.
Okay, fair. We are not invincible, but I think so long as we aren't threatening, I think at least watching, getting a scope on the perimeter from the outside is safe. We make sure not to fly super high, so that way we don't fall 3,000 feet, etc. And then I like how it'll be. It's kind of going up and asking, just, hey, are we allowed in? If not, why? And then how do we fix that?
We already learned that we're not even really allowed inside the inner ring, that we're only supposed to be in the outside ring. So just getting to the tower is going to be a problem.
What if technically the tower is a separate place from the inner ring? Okay, I'm saying it out loud. I hear it. I know. Sounds bad. Okay. Gonna leave that there.
I mean, I'm a pretty simple guy, but it beats standing out here and look around in this.
Yeah, I guess we can at least ask around to see if there's any way to move up the hierarchy around here.
Well, Red did say we can get an obvious Matanu by doing something great or terrible.
I think we should aim for great.
I have an interesting idea, and this is probably completely off base, but based on what you said earlier, Hal, about what was the name of the previous guy again? Start with a G.
Garion,
right? Like, we were talking about the leader of this city, Garion, was finding a way to free his master, right? What if the leader of this city predates Levistus and wants Garion to come back?
What if we just run around?
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, whatever his name is, Matadon? He's probably not beholden to look around, make sure he knows, well, we're in a fog cloud. Whisper, not beholden to Levistus, probably more Garion.
Mm-hmm. What was that, Ava?
Why don't we just, well, if that's the case, why don't we just run around and scream that name? Maybe that will get him interested.
Well, I think we need to find a way to get a message to him covertly, because while he may feel that way, maybe the people inside the city like Levistus, and as per the question on these papers, like saying that we're all about bringing Garion back, probably will get Levistus on our tail pretty quick. So there needs to be like a subterfuge, a secret way we can get a message to him, which is I don't know how to do that. It's not my shtick.
Well, let's walk the city a little bit and see if we can't find any more places with these markings on it.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, that does sound like a good idea. I'm sitting back here like, I don't know what you guys are gonna do.
Okay, so we're walking around looking for more of the like the Thieves Guild and the both generalized and Hal specific Thieves Guild markings.
Well, that's an interesting point because Hal says, "Why don't we look for more of these markings?" But you guys have no idea what he's talking about, right?
Yeah, Hal, do you mean the blood signs that say traitor, or?
Maybe they're a little subtle. Imagine I can point them out as we get there.
Okay. Lead on.
Yeah.
All right.
Why don't we have, as you guys begin walking the outer ring here in Tantalin, looking for any other sort of like Thieves Guild, Silent Rain style markings that could help you guys. How about each one of you give me a perception check as you actively search the city for anything you can find.
Perception check.
Yeah, for Ava and Hal, because they're the only ones that would notice the markings.
Okay.
Shit. I was so
Would
happy.
I have
with that.
advantage on this?
What would give you advantage on it?
Yeah, I don't think you need it. Howard.
What a night.
How do you have a 31 plus 13?
Plus 13.
18 again, another 18 on the roll.
Because I'm in Arctic environments.
Oh, no, I don't think that would count for that, unfortunately.
Expertise.
Can I look for Druidic?
I mean, expertise is not advantage either.
Right. All right.
As I kind of realize I don't know what to look for, I'm going to start looking for Druidic.
Yeah, you could look for Druidic. That's actually interesting. I forgot Druidic was a thing.
Okay. See if there's a Druidic in this city.
Hey.
Wow, Zeke.
That was a low
That was a
roll,
low
but still
roll.
22.
This is what Brianna feels like every roll.
So not, there's really no sort of Druidic stuff that stands out to you. Sorry, Zeke. Although it's an interesting concept, but probably not. Hal, you're not seeing anything that like Silent Rain that's like calling out to you. Although your things are pretty rare. Like having 2 Silent Rain outposts in one settlement is probably pretty rare. Do you have Thieves Cant too? Like, is it Thieves Cant? Yeah, like Thieves Cant. You don't have Rogue at all, right?
No.
Got it. Okay, but Ava would be able to notice like Thieves Cant, and so Ava with like a 31. Again, just like laser focus. You guys spend, the better part of like an hour kind of walking the ring looking for something, and you find what appears to be like an ice hole tavern type setup that has very common Thieves Guild markings that say, if you're looking for work, inquire within. It's like basically this is like a location where you could find work and or a safe house if you need a place to lay low.
Guys, I found a thing.
It's a tavern, Ava.
No, like for Thieves Guild stuff. Ren doesn't affiliate with Thieves Guild, so maybe they're friends. Maybe
It's like, I guess the way the sign is painted, carved, written in some way, like it'd be unnoticeable to the like normal eye, but like there's like little like markings on like certain letters that give it away. I guess that's what I guess that's what like these kind of cant in signage would probably be. I don't know.
me neither.
Sounds cool. Let's go with it. Hey, we're in uncharted territory. You guys skipped everything I had prepared for it.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Alright, we're heading inside the tavern.
Yeah, it's like a tavern. The whole thing, again, everything here seems to be carved out of the solid ice. So the bar top, the stools, the tables, everything is just like one solid chunk of like carved ice. It's pretty empty in here. There is an actual dwarf behind the counter that's like cleaning his like little like mug, like an NPC, just doing his one motion over and over until someone like breaks him out of his cycle. Which you guys do as you step into his bar, and the dwarf looks up and gives you just the slightest nod and motions for you to take a seat at the bar.
Ava sits down, gives him a nod, looks at everyone else to see what they're doing because she's a little nervous, out of her element.
I guess Zeke is probably just sitting in the corner, kind of just waiting.
Good weather out there today, eh?
Yeah.
Which is, you know, there's a hidden message in there, like within the Thieves' Cant, that like in asking you about the weather and like a very like it's a way to open a conversation to kind of indicate like what are you here for, sort of thing.
Ava will reply back in Thieves' Cant. Looking for work. I'm new in town.
So your Thieves' Cant message is looking for work new in town, but what's your actual sentence that you wrap around it that everyone else hears? It has to be twice as long as that. You have to like just drone on about something inane.
She is going to talk about Avernus politics.
Wow.
Stuff that's like super out of date. So like you would probably know.
Okay.
Like you heard that Belle was supplanted by Zariel.
I want to know.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the camera
very
cuts to
out
all
of
you
date.
guys watching. I'll have this conversation with the barkeep. Gotta be confusing for you. And he answers back in like these can't basically like, is it like, are we cool to speak openly with your friends?
Oh yeah. We're married except for that guy.
And
They
he
just don't understand what we're saying.
yeah, got it. So he's like, it's just easier not to have to hide our conversation if we don't have to. I would just welcome husbands and except for that guy, right?
Family friend.
Got it.
The angel, the crab person, and the tiefling all wave when to the husband.
Hello. So he says, "Okay, well, work. Like, what do you do? What's your specialty? Like, I might be able to wrangle. I might have a few jobs if you're looking to make some cash."
I'm good at stealing, sneaking around, gathering information. We're I hope you don't mind. We're looking to see the big guy upstairs. The tower. I mean, not a god. Not Asmodeus. We got a direct line to him. Officer studying.
Ava just starts like. Ava starts turning around frequently.
Right, like yeah, the big guy upstairs, right? And so he like points up. Oh my god, hang on. And he means, oh, you mean Flelagos? That upstairs?
No.
The fourth layer hell? You're looking to meet the leaders of.
We're looking to talk to the guy in charge in the city.
Oh, that makes more sense. Yeah, sorry.
I should have been more clear.
That's okay. I'll let
Alva's
it
trying to
slide.
not talk in code anymore, but she keeps slipping into it.
So you're looking to get an audience with Metanu.
Yeah.
That's a tall order. What makes you so sure he would be interested in seeing you?
We had an in, but he's a little hung up at the moment. The inn, I mean, not Metanu.
Got it.
How does Ava have like a 31 to persuasion?
Yeah, so
She's an ASMR.
So he like stops and he says, "Are you and your friends having anything to drink? Like, he really does want to offer you guys refreshments if you need anything.
Let's get us all and. Oh no, what's the specialty down here in Stygia?
Well, I got my I got some dwarven stout that I brewed up myself. It's my specialty. I don't know about not a lot of devils drink. They can't really drink this kind of like humanoid alcohol, so I don't get a lot of business here. But I'm kind of stuck, so.
We'll take your ale or your stout.
Great, because that's all I have. And slides it out. So he's okay. Here's the deal, right? He doesn't have an in with the big guy. He doesn't. But what he can do is, maybe put you in contact with someone who can put you in contact with someone who can put you in contact with them. But what he wants to know is like, if you want him to pass a message along to see if he can arrange a meeting, like he's gonna need a cut. So if you're gonna get some kind of payment from him, he wants a piece of that. Otherwise, he's going to be asking for it, and he knows this is very he's asking for and pushing it, but he's like, I'm gonna need at least 100 gold to make this happen. Now that might be, yeah. Go ahead and make an insight check. Ooh, natural 20.
What is his life story, Steve?
No, but the thing is, he is 100% eyeing you and trying to gauge the number that he can throw out that you will not push back on without going too high, but high enough that he can make some money off this. But him asking for 100 gold is him trying to fleece you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's not lying about needing money to make this happen, but the 100 gold is him trying to be greedy about it. So you could probably argue him down to at least half that.
1 second, I need to talk to my husband's and family friend. And then she runs back to a corner and starts whispering, guys, I didn't expect to get this far.
Me neither.
What do you mean get this far? What did they say? What did they say?
The first time I've talked about did Thieves Guild stuff since I got hired by Hal.
To murder that guy.
Allegedly.
Allegedly
Got hired by apparently Hal, and maybe to kill someone.
Red said he struck a deal with Matonu already to grant him access to the city. Maybe we can, get a message that we're friends of Red, and then leverage that to get an audience with him. Deliver the message, friends of Red. I don't know.
Maybe. I think that's a good idea, but the problem is we don't know who wrote traitor on his door. So if he was friends with Red, but then the big guy found out that Red was double dealing, then we may not want to go in as friends of Red.
Yeah.
Well, Red's the one who cut us the deal in the first place.
But Red also said that with Speak with Dead, Red said that he did the latter. He did something terrible with reference to how do we get an audience with Matanu. So we don't know what Matanu's general feelings on him are, because we have both that he agreed to a deal at some point, and that Red did something terrible in the eyes of Matanu, and ended up dead. God, this is Dr. Seuss.
I think they're separate.
Yeah.
So he made a deal to grant access to the portal with Matanu. However, he made some other deals, not with Matanu, that might come back to bite me, which obviously came back to bite him. Mutually exclusive. It's the way I see it.
But does that first deal still stand? Because he killed the guy, so I imagine any deal he made is done.
Double contracts seem to end when one party dies.
You said he who? You didn't say anything about Matanu killing him. Why are you? drawing
That's
those
what
conclusions.
That's what I'm saying. Is I don't know. Do we know it was Matano? Like we have zero information on that, so we
No.
should find out who killed him for what reason, so we know like what his relationships are to people. Because if it was
Well-
Matano, then
It wasn't Matanu because he said he made other deals apart from Matanu that got him killed. So it wasn't Matanu.
Okay. So
And
then,
I-
do we want to kind of go in as Friends of Red?
Pull out the paperwork and read it back to him.
You know, you guys can contribute to this conversation.
You're just talking
When I
about
have-
like old stuff that we don't even have any idea about.
Oh, that's right. You guys don't talk.
Well, I mean, and I look at Zeke. Not sure that's accurate either.
What are you looking at me for? You
Said you guys
crab
don't talk.
how? I don't.
That's right. You guys
Sometimes,
don't.
guys. I don't
guys
know.
don't- You guys don't speak thieves' cant.
Thieves what?
I mean, thieves.
they can't do what?
We can't. We can't keep our mouths shut.
Thieves can't say what? I mean, I can speak Druidic and you guys can't, so like that's cool, right, guys?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I am immediately gonna add somebody that speaks Druidic in this campaign.
Nice.
Kind of had some plans that would
well,
fit in.
I mean-
yes.
Okay. Then if you're sure about that, Hal, then let's pay the guy. You said he wants a fee. It's probably to pay bribes if this is anything like Baldur's Gate. How much gold did he want?
100, but I think I can beat him down to something else.
Okay. I can pay for that if needed.
I can pay for that. Let's not
Yeah.
waste any more time.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Let's just get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Alright, so what's the plan?
Give him what? 50 gold, 75 gold.
Just start at 50, and then I guess just be willing to go up to 75. See if he'll just take 50.
Alright. Let's
Give
go.
her 50 gold.
Yeah, I give her 25 gold. So it's,
I
the
give her
full, it's the
nothing.
full 75.
Wait, Alpha has
Go
money,
back to
doesn't
the dwarf.
he?
Hey,
We're just used.
man.
What?
Sorry, what's your name? I didn't ask. I feel really rude.
You know, it's so amazing. I've been here for so long, and nobody ever cares about my name. Thank you for caring about Fildrock Shadowfury. Nobody ever asks how Fildrock Shadowfury actually is. They just, you know, they want jobs, they want ale, but wow, thank you. And you are, you know, I never even asked your name.
I'm Ava.
Ava. Pleased to meet you. My name, if I didn't say, is Fildrock Shadowfury.
I'm writing this down.
How do you? Can you please put that? Oh, you already did.
I
Great.
already did.
Thank you, Phil Drock, for putting your name on that napkin that we can
Yeah,
all
he
read.
writes it on a napkin and hands it to you.
He has a name
Take out
badge with it
business
written.
card.
Oh, I fucked this name
Yeah,
up like 3
I am. He's like a fixer here in Night City. I mean,
Oh my
Tantalin.
God.
So yeah,
Alright.
so yeah, you wanna grease some wheels. How much are you giving him?
I can do 50 GP.
So wait, so like they give you 75 GP to pay him, and you give him 50? Because that's
She like
hilarious.
slides over 50. Because... So, what's gonna happen?
It's gonna take some time. I'll talk to some people. Your ultimate goal is to get an audience with Matanu, correct?
Yeah.
Even if that means, even if I can put you in contact with somebody that'll request a job of you, which will then lead to you, as a reward, getting an audience with the big guy.
Yeah.
We're all on the
sounds
same
about right.
page here.
Yes.
I mean, it would preferably not an audience to determine our fate. What kind of an audience of goodwill that would be preferential.
Right. That is the I can't promise that this person will do anything other than grant you the audience, but we will pass along the intent. His intent is not to screw you guys. It's just you're dealing with people that are way more powerful than him, and he doesn't have a lot of control over what goes on above him, right?
You should make a part of your messages that we're willing to help Madonna if that will help get us
Right.
an audience with him.
Yeah, that's the implication here. You guys are looking to do some sort of job to get you into his good favor, which could then be rewarded with like an audience with him, right? Okay.
I'll release
So-
over to Hal. Should we mention about your friend?
I think it would be a good idea to let him know we're friends of Red.
All right. Phildrock Shatterfury.
Yes. Ava of Baldur's Gate.
I never said where I was from.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's a mimic.
We're friends with the elf, Red.
You got to be more specific.
He died recently.
Oh, the one that's strung. Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah. And is that good? Okay. Oh, I see. I pass this along with this message, and that's going to mean something to them upstairs. Got it.
Hopefully.
I was waiting for you to elaborate on your friends with them and what that meant, but I see it's a little hush hush. I know. You know what? I'm paid not just for what I know, but for what I don't know, and it's better if I don't know. Sometimes.
Yes.
I know how this goes.
We will.
I'm
give
glad.
you-
I'm glad one person in this conversation does.
So, it's going to take some time. Why don't you give me... I'm going to need at least 24 hours to get this squared away. So, come back tomorrow, and we'll see what shakes down.
Do you have like a backyard with like a 20-foot by 20-foot area that we can rent for the next 24 hours?
He does not have a backyard per se, but this city does have like quite a bit of open space. So like if you're looking to set your tower up like somewhere like this place is not so full that it's like bursting with people. You would be able to like claim an area and set it up, and he tells you as such like. Or it's just funnier for him to say, actually, and he opens his back door, and there's like a 20 by 20 like backyard with like a half-court basketball hoop, and the basketball's just like frozen to the ground, so nobody ever plays.
Nice.
Yeah, you can hang tight here. That's fine.
Awesome.
I like how he's cool with us renting this backyard. I just like, nope, that's it. I don't need to know.
I mean, you paid him
King
50
of doesn't
gold.
need to know.
Yeah. So he will allow
Good
you to
stuff.
pop up your tower here and hang out. Like that's fine. But you still have 24 hours before he's going to have any progress on his quest for his contact. So I guess what do you guys want to do in the meantime? Are you guys just going to camp out here and we want to
Right,
like
yeah.
fast forward?
Well, I just wanted to lock down a place for us to stay that would
Yeah,
be
yeah.
safe for us, and I figured he might know a spot. So
He's
now
got
we
a basketball
have
court in the
place.
back. You're good.
Whatever goes there. It's negative 50 outside.
It's like negative
Well, it's
like
negative
75.
like 100.
It's more than negative 50. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
negative 100 or so. It's
Oh, it's
impossible
negative
to
50
fill.
inside. I'm bad. My bad.
All of your guys' conversations are like, you're like, teeth are chattering because you guys are freezing to death like all the time. Just like in Avernus, you guys are sweating to death all the time, right? It's from one extreme to the other. But yeah, I mean, you guys tell me, right? Like, do we want to just fast forward? Do you guys want to like take the night and like have the time tick by, or do you guys want to like use your wind walking to like spend 8 hours just traveling the map, or do you guys want to like, you guys tell me what is it you want to do for the rest of the day, because they will there will be something for you to do when his contacts come back, but there's still like a bunch of time in the meantime.
The Stygia is flowing and kind of shifting constantly, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure how useful scouting will be when we're not going to, even if we're leaving the city to do something, it's going to be shifted within the next probably 24 hours, I imagine.
The good news is for you as players is there's no way to shift landmarks on an image.
I mean, I couldn't know that. Like a Zeke,
but there's two kinds of landmarks here. There are fixed locations that are always where they are, and those are obviously marked on the map, like the city, the Colosseum. They can't move. But like things like that pillar you saw that was floating along, those kind of things shift all the time, right? So there's different kinds of landmarks here.
Okay,
Maybe
that
we
could be a
should
good.
get a lay of the land.
Also,
another
too,
5 hours.
yeah, I mean, you guys could just like zip around and be like, "Woo, time for the tour!" Like, get on that Red Bus tour, like San Francisco Red Bus tour. Just go see the whole lair. But yeah, you guys told me I don't want to like just say fast forward 24 hours, and I don't want to say I don't want to force you guys to do stuff in the meantime as well, right? You guys want to take a stroll through the lair?
Let's fly around.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Okay.
Hey, I gotta let my dogs out. I'm down for whatever. So Marius was just gonna come with.
Okay.
I was about to say,
Let's leave Marius behind.
I was so confused for a second.
Marius is going to stay here and actually play some basketball while we all fly around.
Yeah, so let's see. Like, we go back to you guys shift back into your wind walking forms. Do you guys set your tower up, or you just leave the like? You're just gonna come back and set the tower up later.
I don't see a benefit to setting the tower up and leaving for 4 hours.
Right. Okay.
Agreed.
That
So-
just seems like it's going to be a bad time.
I guess my question is, should I do one of two things? One, should I have you guys move hex by hex around the whole thing and actually track the time? Or two, do I just reveal the whole map because you guys have enough movement to just see everything?
I mean,
Yeah.
there are benefits of both. If you reveal the whole map, it's easier. But also, hearing the despair in your voice as we count to 8 4 times is fun.
Okay, I'm fine with that. I think numbers-wise, you guys can see everything, but maybe you'll run into a random encounter that'll like force you to like die. I don't know.
That's very hopeful.
Also, the funny thing for me is I was like, okay, well, coming into this week, we haven't done combat in a while, so we're definitely going to do combat because there's all kinds of cool encounters they're going to come across. For sure, we're going to spend at least a couple hours fighting stuff this week. But no, my players have Windwalk.
Got
So,
a druid. Druid spell
Mo-
list is good.
Zeke, you have control of the token. Why don't you guys go for the scenic tour?
Okay, I will try to cover. We'll try to cover the diagonals pretty well. So we have 5 hours. So that means we have 40 pieces of movement, basically. I want to get back in the city, ideally.
Yep.
So we got 1,
Okay.
2.
More ice. It's just like everywhere here, it's just shifting glaciers, like banging against each other. There's glimpses of like slightly running, like up here in the corner, you can see there's seems to be some sort of bit of like running water in a river.
Let's check that out. 3.
And you fly back up and you see it seems to be like a bit of a river that seems to be flowing from the river Styx. But it's interesting because like where you are in Tantalin, it almost seems like the river Styx has become like a lake. It almost seems like perhaps
true.
the source of the river Styx may be here in
Oh, at the
Stygia.
base of the Colosseum, too. That would make sense. Colosseum has a lot of death.
It's also called the river Styx, and it originates from the lair Stygia. There's something possibly there. I don't know.
Genealogy of river Styx.
So
This was 3.
So that was 8, 16, 24.
We're taking a tour of Avernus, of Stygia. 4,
32.
5.
40.
Stop counting with me. I'm counting to 40.
Well, you don't know because you might stop or something, right? 48? Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. What number are we
And so this is the
looking
first
for
time you see there seems to be another river beneath you, but this river actually looks lighter than like the river Styx. And it seems to be, I don't know if I would call it freshwater, but it's definitely not Styx water. It's just a flowing river within the the floating glaciers. There seems to be somehow, inexplicably, a clear floating river.
Okay. Let's do 50. It's in increments of 8, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 56.
Okay.
And we're gonna be back in time before the spell ends. Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
So
I'm gonna do math.
that here was 1 hour. And so you guys have traveled like, you did 1 hour of walking around the city and 3 hours of air. Like, so basically 3 hours have passed since the start of the spell. So you still have 5 hours of time on this.
Okay, so that means we have. Let me just double check this real quick. We have 320 miles left of movement.
Which, Stygia is an infinite plane, conveniently broken down here into hexes, 8 miles across. There's no way for me to represent an infinite plane on a hex grid, but in your immediate area at least. Like, you would move to the edge here and you could keep going forever. You know what I mean? But, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to do 8,
Okay.
16, 24.
A lot of nothing, but this is the first time you see on the very edge that like dark blue patch. You can kind of see on the edge of your vision. It seems to be something different, at least.
Okay, let's check that out. 32.
So as you move here, you can kind of see where the source of this river, like this darker blue ice, is a little bit bigger, heavier chunks of ice. That, like, the lighter ice seems to be more smaller chunks that float freely, where this thicker, darker is a heftier, sort of more permanent ice structure that doesn't seem to be broken up by like ice flows floating freely. It seems to be stable. However, it's not smooth at all. It's just like jutting ice and icebergs and stalagmites everywhere. That looks like it'd be a pain in the ass to walk on, but at least it's not shifting.
Okay. I think I'm going to start heading south then. So we got 40, 48, 56, 64. That's another hour.
Okay, so we got 4 hours left.
Okay.
I thought it would be funny if you guys just all split up and everyone goes 8 hours everywhere on their own.
God.
So
You kind of spooked me with the dispel magic thing.
yeah.
So I don't want to do that. So new hour.
Mm-hmm.
8.
Yeah, all it takes is
16.
one smart wizard who's quick on the draw to pull you out of the sky.
We don't want Quick
Yeah.
Draw McGraw, who's 3 levels in Wizard here, to be like, oh, I got him.
Yeah, so right here as you're flying over, there is, like, for the first time, like, you catch something really low below you guys, like on the ice, and you can see there seems to be a figure that is like trying to push like a sled across the ice.
Huh. Are they very large, or are they like humanoid sized?
As you get a little closer, they look to be. There's definitely a devil, and it's definitely in Amnesia again, kind of like the one you saw back at the visitor center.
I kind of just don't want to mess with them right now.
Right.
Seems like there's more to lose here.
He's in like this, like, it's like he's got like an oversized cart. It looks pretty nice. Strapped to it is this really tall safe. The safe looks like it's 8-10 feet tall, and it's strapped down really heavy in like these heavy chains into the cart. And he's by himself, and he is struggling really hard to push this thing, and it's barely budging. I'll just leave it. That's the description you see as you fly by at 60 miles per hour.
I heard safe. I heard a safe.
There is a safe, absolutely.
Do you guys want to check it out?
We don't need to. but
So
if-
this would
might
be one of the
fun.
random encounters you stumbled across if you weren't flying at 60 miles per hour. I ran for the roll for the random encounters. This is the second random encounter that you guys got for the day. Whether or not you want to engage in it, like, you don't have to, right? But you could.
I'm personally kind of down to keep flying around because it's kind of getting late in the session at this point. I don't want to start something and then not be able to really like get far into it.
I agree. Let's not engage with anything our DM is giving us to engage with.
It's like
theme for my decisions tonight.
Right, it's like, yeah. It is something, I don't want to, like I said, I'm not forcing you guys to engage in anything, but it is content that's there. So let me give you a hint, or let me give you, because you are right, we were basically at the end of our session anyways. Pretty much my intent was to have you guys get hooks into the story and quest hooks and sort of ways to, for instance, meet this guy you're trying to get, right? You guys went straight to the source. You said, you know what? I'm just going to go pay someone to make me meeting, and that's fine. We can do that too. But there are different types of encounters I've created. Some are combat, some are just interesting, and others are like story hooks into like the main story quest lines. So I've created a couple of like main quest lines that you guys can use to get through this layer.
I love that we're just like, as a group, like, how do we do this? How do we get in here? And Steve's over there going, I literally made all these ways for you to get in there, and you guys flew over.
Yes. The idea was I didn't know which ones you guys were going to encounter, but I would dangle them in front of you as we come across things. And as you guys engage with these sort of like story hooks, it would pull you into quest lines that could then grant you access to these portals you need.
Bold of you to assume.
Yeah. And so we've already managed to, like, I'm able to take these quest lines and retool them. So you guys have managed to, like, get onto one of these quest lines. Fine. We're going to get there eventually if you want. I will say this specific Amnesu pushing a cart is one of the story quest hooks that I laid out to try to get you guys a path to where you're going. But at the same time, he leads to the same path you're already on. So
I like seeing content. So let's go down. Let's begin the reverting, and then we can begin this session next time. Interacting with this person.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so here's what happens. You fly. You come down, and there's like this breeze. You guys are like wind, and as you begin unreverting, right, you can see this Amnesu, because Amnesus in your experience have been very like hoity-toity. They're like high up, like, they're pretty high up in the infernal hierarchy rankings completely. So like for them to be doing like manual labor is like completely basically unheard of. They are all about ruling over people. So this Amnesu is trying his hardest to push this cart, and he can barely move it. And once he sees you, so let me see. Okay, so there's a fat, regal-looking devil pulling a cart. The cart is ornately carved out of infernal iron, and in the back is a comically large safe standing about 8 feet tall. Now that you're up close, you can see it. The safe is strapped into the cart with oversized infernal chains, with a large padlock shaped like a devil's face locked across the front. The Amnesu is comically trying to drag and push the sled across the ice. He's having trouble waiting for like two ice flows to connect. He's pushing it across these ice flows, and he has to wait for them to like kind of like float into each other and push it across as quick as he can before they shift apart. And he's having like a horrible time of it, and he just looks comical doing it. And as he sees like you guys kind of reforming like kind of afar from him, he begins waving his hands wildly, trying to flag you guys down. And I think that is where we will end tonight's session and pick up next week's session.
Noise.
So
see, I feel like Tyler's on that, hey, I want to fill in the whole map shtick. And that's counter to like, hey, let's engage. Let's engage in the game.
It's hard to say because you guys are already kind of like,
yeah, we've already got one Tinder in, right? So we could just ignore everything and get to where we're going eventually.
The way I designed this layer is that there are 3 main quest lines you guys could get on, and those quest lines can all lead in different ways for you to get forward in the adventure. And so my plan was to have you guys randomly stumble across these story hooks mixed in with like random combat encounters and stuff, and then have you guys choose which way you wanted to proceed forward with. So it's a little, to say, oh, this is a story, like this is a story quest line. I wouldn't normally say that, but I'm saying it right now. This guy has a giant glowing yellow exclamation point over his head saying, I push the adventure forward if you want to engage with me.
I love this is like an experiment in like game design and how different people interact with different systems. Like it's really interesting.
Yeah. And how you guys just walk past everything.
I don't know why I'm the one whose fault it is that the wizards gave this spell to druids.
No. It's just, I don't know why I didn't think about like travel spells, like trivializing this stuff. And in a way, it doesn't really even matter, honestly. The way it's set up, it doesn't matter. We're still good. We're still gonna have fun here.
At the end of the day, like we could just use it to clear the map, but then also like pick up content. Because I'm the type of gamer that clears the map the way we're doing, Tyler, but also grabs all the side missions along the way and does all of them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Moving across the map is only half of it, but like you guys are like, yeah, there's a portal in the center of this city at the very bottom of this tower, but that doesn't mean you can get there very easy, right? So like moving across the map is only part of the battle. The other part of the battle is, engaging with the people that live here and having them allow you access to what they control. So
how ironic would it be if Windwalk was also the answer to engaging with that portal?
Well, I'm like, realistically, could you just turn into like wind form and bum rush the portal? Because you turn into a gaseous form, and I think if you look at like gaseous form as a spell, it allows you to squeeze through like anything, pretty much, right?
That's why you surround your portals with anti-magic fields.
Oh, they are definitely under heavy guard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
we might be able to make it through, but like not without someone dying or it becoming very close, and that's super risky.
If you guys want to do the bum rush and fight your way to the portal thing, we can do that. But there's other ways in. That's not the only way in. It's just a way in, right? So we can see what this Amnesu pushing the cart is all about next week on Beyond Avernus. It's good to be Beyond Avernus, I will say. It is bad that like you guys definitely surprised the hell out of me. And as a result, we were doing a lot of flailing around in tonight's role. Like I haven't given you guys
content you prepared.
I haven't. Well, we haven't skipped it. We're going back to it right now. But like, I really felt like you guys really needed combat because we hadn't done combat in so long. So I was just excited to throw some combat encounters at you and get us back into that. But
sorry, we're going 70 miles an hour as clouds.
Yeah.
Marius is just thinking to himself like, okay, so do I need to like make choices to make my sword better, or do I need to kill certain things? Because he looks over at Zeke. If I need to kill certain things and we're skipping everything because of you, then
Death Husband 3.
Yeah.
Why does everyone at this party want to eat me?
But anyways, I hope you guys had fun this week on Beyond Avernus. Big shout outs to Drawsword1, aka Kalinga, who's been donating towards our streams. He's been on the Pathfinder stream. He's here on our Beyond Avernus this week, and he donated $30 to us collectively, which we can use to buy more content and do stuff like that. So that's really fun. So thank you,
Yay.
Everyone. Give a big shout.
Awesome.
But he's not the only one that can do it. You too can do it. You. So if you can donate money, that's great. If you can't, help us out any way you can. Like the channel, subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Twitter. You can find me, that's down there at the bottom, at Steve the DM. I post awesome analysis of Cyberpunk 2020 PDFs with clickbait art on the main tweet, because the art's pretty interesting, to say the least. But yeah, help, I don't know. I'm tired. My players threw me for a loop, so big props to all the DMs out there that allow their players to do what they want. So you guys have any sign-offs you want to say bye, to where to follow you guys, etc., etc.
Follow me on @FogCloud.
You should see if it's taken.
That's funny.
There's no way it's not. Let's see.
Nope. It is taken by Richard Feltner.
I just want to say I'm grateful for everyone watching, hanging out on the stream, even checking it out, and yeah, to keep on coming back because we got tons of stuff to watch, even if it's not here on this channel. Rick has hallowed D&D on stream, and we play on Fridays. And next week, if you tune in on oh no, not next week, in 5 days. Holy crap.
Christmas Day.
We will be doing session 0 of Delta Green, where we will be making our agents and getting everybody briefed for what their first encounter in the Delta Green universe will be.
Ooh.
That guy in chat says he will get 2 friends to sign up.
Yay! And then they get 2 friends.
It's just a cycle, right? And
If
then we have
everyone-
our own plane of hell.
Yep. But at least it costs less to like and follow our channels than that. So, yep. I mean that's our session this week, guys. I mean, okay. Jordan plugged Rick's channel. Rick, do you want to plug your own channel too? Jordan's the DM on this Friday, right? Christmas.
Yeah, Jordan's going to be DMing the Delta Green on the Hallowed Hunt on YouTube and Hallowed D&D on Twitch. We start around 7 p.m. Pacific, and we run sometimes till 11, 10, 2:30. It all depends.
Yep.
And we'll be here on Avernus every Sunday from 6 to 10 Pacific. And we are also doing Wednesday nights. We're doing our Pathfinder game. So come and check us out on Wednesdays. Anything else, guys?
That's it.
Nope. Have a good week, guys.
Wear a mask, please.
Wear a
Please don't be
mask.
stupid.
Yep. Be careful. Be safe. Be healthy.
How about have a happy holidays? I think
Yes, happy
Yeah.
holidays.
All right.
Christmas is this week. I think Hanukkah might still be in the midst, or did it pass?
I think it passed already.
I know it started, but I don't know if it finished.
It either finishes like tonight or tomorrow, or it finished a few days ago, I think.
It ended last Friday.
Ended 18th.
Yeah.
Just doesn't feel like the holidays.
It really doesn't it doesn't feel the same.
Well,
Yep.
happy Hanukkah
We'll get
to
there.
anyone who celebrates. Oh, I hope everyone who celebrated had happy Hanukkah anyway.
Yeah. When Drousor donated, his actual message was Merry Christmas. So Merry Christmas to you too.
Yes, Merry Christmas.
And we'll be back next week before the New Year's. It'll be our last session in this dreaded year of 2020.
What could possibly go wrong?
Well, I mean, the magic thing is like at 2021, everything is magically better, right?
It's just New Game Plus. No. 2022.
We have no guarantee of what 2021's going to be like.
That's true. But it'll be an experience. So yeah, check us out. Have a good night out there. See you next Sunday on Beyond Avernus. Take care.